How to avoid becoming a future tyrant. In the royal capital, a boy was buying candy. This boy is Xiao Jinyu, an ordinary reincarnator. However, his current situation is far from ideal. He senses bloodlust from both his left and right sides, as two men are attacking him with the intent to kill. Xiao Jinyu drops his money, bending down to pick it up. Simultaneously, as the attackers strike, they collide with each other and die. Jiao Jinyu isn't surprised, such attempts on his life are a daily occurrence. Despite being a teenager, he experiences assassination attempts regularly, a consequence of his reincarnated life. Fortunately, his current life is affluent. His father, an outstanding founding minister aiding the emperor, holds the title of the Centennial Grand Duke. However, after the late emperor's passing, the current ruler perceives a threat in his father's achievements and desires to extinguish their bloodline. Even now, with a bounty on his head, the streets are empty, concealing hidden dangers even in broad daylight. Xiao Jinyu strolls, eating candy. Abruptly, a knife narrowly misses his head, and another grazes his chest, reminiscent of his past life. Though part of the Taisen now, he refrains from revealing his true power, avoiding the attention of stronger adversaries. Jiao Jinyu contemplates the relentless challenges he faces and wonders if he must endure rigorous training akin to his past life. Can this cycle be terminated? He devises a plan to dispel the emperor's fear by proving the innocence of his family. With a decision made, Jiao Jinyu embraces the role of a useless person. Months later, Jiao Jinyu sleeps until late morning. A housekeeper rushes to wake him. Jiao Jinyu, now the capital's infamous good-for-nothing, inquires about the urgency. The housekeeper reveals that eunuch Li from the palace brings an imperial edict. Jiao Jinyu heads to the palace, witnessing eunuch Li reading a surprising decree. The emperor orders the betrothal of Xiao Jinyu to the third princess. Shocked, Jiao Jinyu's father, Duke, tearfully accepts the decree, expressing gratitude for the emperor's attention. Eunuch Li instructs Jiao Jinyu to meet the emperor the following day. Furious, Duke Jiao questions the emperor's intentions, but Xiao Jinyu reassures him. The princess, revealed to be mentally incapable, is marrying to protect her life. Xiao Jinyu contemplates the challenges ahead, proposing rebellion to his father. However, Duke Jiao responds with disappointment and anger. In a humorous escape, Xiao Jinyu runs off, teasingly claiming it was a joke at the royal palace. Meanwhile, Muo Shuai, the princess, discovers her father's betrothal decision. An imperial consort relays the information, and Muo Shuai blushes, realizing the future heavenly martial immortal is her husband. Muo Shui contemplated the unexpected turn of events, puzzled by the marriage proposal with Jiao Jinyu in this life despite the absence of any apparent connection in their previous existence. Reflecting on Jiao Jinyu's usual whereabouts during this period in the past, she wondered if he should be training at Jade Mountain Peak in Tai Sect, renowned as the world's best immortal sect. Muo Shui shouted, realizing that, for some reason, Jiao Jinyu hasn't joined the Tai Sect in this life. Concerned that he might have believed spreading rumors and considered her an idiot, deciding to escape marriage by joining the Taisen, Muo Shui grew angry. She pondered the consequences of him joining the Tai Sect and dismissed the pursuit of immortality, opting instead to find a way to end the Tai Sect. Imperial consort noticed Muo Shui's unsettling expression, assuming she must be distressed about marrying a seemingly useless individual. Imperial consort advised her not to cause trouble immediately after marriage, but hinted that she could do so later. Infuriated, Muo Shui demanded to meet Xiao Jinyu the next day. However, Imperial consort informed her of palace rules prohibiting meetings before marriage. Muo Shui, angered, questioned the appropriateness of such rules, with Imperial consort assuring her that it's totally appropriate. Delighted, Muo Shui gazed at the full moon through the window, expressing happiness. The next day, Duke Jiao visited the imperial palace to greet Emperor Jishengde. Emperor Jishengde requested Duke Jiao's presence, and Duke Jiao suspected the emperor's intentions. Emperor Jishengde presented a memorial filled with accusations against Duke Jiao, leaving him speechless. Duke Jiao realized the emperor had orchestrated officials to nitpick his mistakes. Emperor Jishengde questioned the whereabouts of Duke Jiao's son, Jiao Jinyu. Duke Jiao fabricated a story, claiming they had an argument, and Jiao Jinyu ran away. A servant announced Jiao Jinyu's arrival, but to Duke Jiao's disappointment, Jiao Jinyu appeared intoxicated and dancing strangely. Duke Jiao reprimanded him, and Emperor Jishengde remarked on Jiao Jinyu's frivolous behavior, cautioning him to act responsibly after marriage. The emperor decided to end the meeting to attend to documents. Outside the palace, Duke Jiao carried Jiao Jinyu and scolded him for the act. Jiao Jinyu revealed he went to Green Willow Pavilion, accidentally beating the Ministry of War's second son. He warned Duke Jiao about potential consequences. Later, Duke Jiao expressed uncertainty about whether Jiao Jinyu was truly a good-for-nothing or just acting. Jiao Jinyu drew his sword, declaring his intention to kill someone that night. Duke Jiao asked who the target was, but when Jiao Jinyu didn't respond, Duke Jiao realized Jiao Jinyu wasn't on his back anymore. In the darkness, a figure approached the imperial palace, and Jiao Jinyu, wearing night-walking clothes, prepared to confront the chaos Muo Shui had caused. Determined, he aimed his sword towards the palace, expressing a desire for Muo Shui, the catalyst of chaos, to perish right there. Jiao Jinyu hurled his sword toward the imperial palace, unleashing a powerful attack that destroyed the palace barriers and caused a massive explosion. Realizing that palace experts might arrive soon, Jiao Jinyu decided to make a strategic retreat to avoid suspicion. Observing from a distance, Jiao Jinyu commented on the formidable chaplain Tanasi's strength, indicating that Jiao Jinyu might not have been successful in eliminating him. While a direct solution to the problem was challenging, the attack would incapacitate Chuanyazi for months, preventing his presence at the upcoming Hidden Immortal Summit in 2 months. This, in turn, would delay the chaos from Jiao Jinyu's previous life. Moreover, Jiao Jinyu had learned that around this time in his past life, Muo Shui had been unjustly imprisoned in the Supreme Court's jail due to false accusations orchestrated by members of the Tang clan. Intent on protecting Muo Shui, Jiao Jinyu planned to bring her to Yongning Palace, personally ensuring her safety. Meanwhile, Imperial Consort was approached by her brother, Huang Xinjiang, who sought revenge against Jiao Jinyu for assaulting him. Imperial Consort questioned him about the incident, leading to the revelation that Jiao Jinyu had overheard their discussion at the brothel about breeding poisonous insects. Huang Xinjiang disclosed that Muo Shui had deceived Imperial Consort, secretly practicing poison in the palace. Imperial Consort was left to contemplate the implications of this revelation. Imperial Consort's father, overhearing the conversation, urged them to use the information against the Jiao clan, emphasizing the need for their own clan to prove its usefulness to the emperor. Imperial Consort's father and brother suggested exposing the poisonous insect as leverage. The revelation left Imperial Consort shocked and worried about the potential consequences. As they discussed the matter, a sudden lightning-like bolt struck the palace, causing chaos and panic. Imperial Consort's father advised her to handle the situation carefully, and she assured Huang Xinjiang that she would decide later. In another part of the palace, Muo Shui, anticipating trouble, sensed the disturbance caused by expert fighters. She believed that Huang Shongshong would frame her soon. Muo Shui prepared a cup of tea, containing a substance to deal with Huang Xinjiang. However, before she could carry out her plan, Jiao Jinyu arrived, asking for his future wife. The meeting between Muo Shui and Jiao Jinyu created an amusing encounter between the future tyrant wife and immortal prince. While Jiao Jinyu admired Muo Shui's current docile demeanor, Muo Shui, in turn, found Jiao Jinyu exceptionally handsome. Their exchange showcased the contrast between their current personas and their future roles. As Muo Shui attempted to prevent Jiao Jinyu from drinking the poisoned tea, their interactions became comical. Muo Shui slipped and fell into Jiao Jinyu's arms, leading to a playful moment. Jiao Jinyu, undeterred, teased Muo Shui, claiming she was aggressive even before their marriage. Their playful banter continued, highlighting the humor in their initial meeting. On the other side, Emperor Ji Shanghai stood on a cliff with an eagle perched on his shoulder. Inquiring about the recent events, Emperor asked his servant if they had identified the individuals responsible for the disturbance in the palace. The servant reported that, so far, only Duke Dingbang and his son had entered the palace. Emperor then inquired about the condition of Chaplain Tianyazi, the target of Jiao Jinyu's attack the previous night. Meanwhile, on Chen Yazi's side, the chaplain was struggling to subdue the sword Kai embedded in his body. Despite the difficulty, he assured Emperor Ji Shanghai that there was no immediate danger to his life. However, Chen Yazi acknowledged that his virtual spirit had sustained significant damage, making his participation in the upcoming Hidden Immortal Summit challenging. Emperor Ji Shanghai questioned the strength of the person who attacked Chen Yazi, and the chaplain identified them as a mainland immortal. Although Chen Yazi had survived the encounter, his injuries were severe, and he speculated that the attacker belonged to the Tai Sect. The mention of Tai Sect caught Emperor's attention, and he expressed his intent to inquire about the situation directly from the sect. A new development was brought to Emperor's attention when a servant rushed in, reporting that Jiao Jinyu had taken away the third princess. Annoyed, Emperor remarked about Jiao Jinyu's lack of courtesy and questioned why the palace experts couldn't handle him. The servant explained that the inner guard hesitated to intervene as Jiao Jinyu had threatened to make their lives miserable. Additionally, Xiao Jinyu had started noting down the names of anyone who attempted to stop him in his notebook. As Jiao Jinyu and Muo Shuai fled the palace, the guards, intimidated by Jiao Jinyu's threats, decided not to interfere. Amused by their reactions, Jiao Jinyu continued the charade, making the guards believe that he was an unbeatable force. Muo Shuai, embarrassed by the situation, thought about her disheveled appearance. Upon reaching Jiao residence, Jiao Jinyu proudly announced his return. However, an arrow with a letter attached was shot towards Xiao Jinyu. After catching the arrow, Jiao Jinyu discovered that the letter labeled him as an expert in making trouble. Duke Jiao scolded Jiao Jinyu for kidnapping the third princess, and Jiao Jinyu humorously accepted the title. Duke Jiao expressed his concerns about the complaints that would arise due to Jiao Jinyu's actions. Jiao Jinyu, seemingly unbothered, thanked himself for the hard work throughout the years. The conversation shifted to Muo Shuai, and Duke Jiao extended his greetings, noting her beauty despite her special abilities. Jiao Jinyu encouraged Muo Shuai to follow the housekeeper. Duke Jiao questioned Jiao Jinyu about the events of the previous day, emphasizing the need for honesty. Jiao Jinyu, evading the truth, claimed to have been admiring flowers. Duke Jiao, aware of his son's martial prowess, pondered the identity of the person Jiao Jinyu couldn't defeat. Reflecting on Jiao Jinyu's past achievements, Duke Jiao recognized his true strength. The conversation took a serious turn as Jiao Jinyu revealed the emperor's plan to send servants to their house under the pretext of imperial household unity, suspecting them to be spies. Jiao Jinyu proposed dealing with the situation by exposing imperial consort Huang's practice of poison in the palace. Duke Jiao expressed disbelief, but Jiao Jinyu shared his plan to frame Muo Shuai and falsely implicate the Jiao clan. Duke Jiao, angered by the revelation, questioned the audacity of imperial consort Huang and her attempts to involve their clan. Leaving Duke Jiao behind, Jiao Jinyu went to his room, where he rang a bell, summoning a blue sparrow. This sparrow, referred to as the Blue Sparrow, was actually a little girl who addressed Xiao Jinyu as the High Priest. She inquired if there were any instructions from him, and teasingly asked if he had called her to finish her off due to his upcoming marriage to the idiot princess. Jiao Jinyu sternly warned the Blue Sparrow not to harm Muo Shuai, expressing his strong intent to protect her. The Sparrow Girl, recalling Xiao Jinyu's past actions, became frightened and assured him that she wouldn't make the same mistake again. Jiao Jinyu instructed her to follow orders and fulfill her responsibilities properly. Xiao Jinyu then questioned the Blue Sparrow about the Ninth Elder in charge of the believers in the capital. She explained that the Ninth Elder, an expert in concealing, used to be responsible for the heavily guarded capital. However, since Xiao Jinyu became the High Priest, the Ninth Elder had withdrawn. Despite this, the believers' register was still well preserved. Jiao Jinyu directed the sparrow to ensure that the believers in the capital would now follow his orders. Delighted with the information, Jiao Jinyu acknowledged the potential use of imperial consort Huang as a pawn, given her belief in witchcraft. He questioned if the Sparrow Girl brought his unmanifested poisonous insect, and she confirmed it by spitting out a yellow poisonous insect into his hand. Disgusted, Jiao Jinyu refused to eat the insect, and the Sparrow Girl assured him she would seal it up. She expressed her willingness to help if he ever needed it. Xiao Jinyu was left shocked by the encounter. In another part of the story, Muo Shuai was left in her room by the housekeeper. Reflecting on her situation, she realized that despite acting foolish for many years, she had managed to bring some magical devices with her. She also pondered the recent events, including the sudden appearance of her blockhead husband, Jiao Jinyu, who took her away. Muo Shuai checked a mirror and communicated with someone named Ungung, a white-haired girl. Ungung updated her about the clan members reaching near the capital, and informed her about the occupation of the Chalcedony mine by the witchcraft clan. Muo Shuai decided to gather the clan members to secure the Chalcedony mine, emphasizing its importance for increasing cultivation talent. Despite Ung's assumption that Muo Shuai would lead the mission, Muo Shuai revealed that she wouldn't be going because she was getting married. Ungung expressed surprise, and Muo Shuai blushed, indicating that she would stay back as she was about to get married. The chapter then shifted to Jiao Jinyu's entrance into Muo Shuai's room. He noticed Muo Shuai sitting on a chair, looking in the mirror. Playfully, Jiao Jinyu picked up the mirror, teasing her about her beauty. Jiao Jinyu, while blushing, claimed that he would give her a better mirror next time. Observing her room, Jiao Jinyu noticed that Muo Shuai hadn't touched the refreshments. He asked if they didn't suit her taste, and Muo Shuai, with a blush, replied that she was waiting for him. Jiao Jinyu questioned why she was waiting for him, and Muo Shuai, still blushing, stated that they were husband and wife, and she wanted to eat together with him. Jiao Jinyu, once again affected by her cuteness, found himself wondering how to handle it. As the conversation continued, Jiao Jinyu mentioned the Lantern Festival that night and handed her a rose, suggesting they go out together. Muo Shuai, thinking he was asking her on a date, blushed intensely, and the chapter ended with a sense of romantic anticipation. In her previous life, Muo Shuai, while working in her office, heard noise outside and asked her servant about it. Learning it was the Lantern Festival, she considered stopping the celebration due to concerns about rebel army spies. However, her servant explained the festival's importance to the citizens, and she decided to let it proceed. Reflecting on this, she realized that, in her current life, she could enjoy the festival with her husband, Jiao Jinyu. Walking alone on the street during the Lantern Festival, Muo Shuai attracted the attention of thugs who identified her as a foreigner. Ju, with Jiao Jinyu, intervened and confronted the thugs, warning them about the consequences. After dealing with the troublemakers, Jiao Jinyu scolded Muo Shuai for disappearing momentarily and then took her to enjoy various activities at the festival. Jiao Jinyu visited shops, bought things, and expressed regret for not bringing servants to restrict his spending. Muo Shuai advised him against wasting money, but Jiao Jinyu assured her not to worry as he was the capital's top good-for-nothing and would provide everything for her. He even put a mask on Muo Shuai's head, symbolizing her liberation from the palace. As they enjoyed the festivities, a carriage approached, and Jiao Jinyu pulled Muo Shuai back, causing her to drop everything she was carrying. Disappointed, Muo Shuai wondered if something tragic had happened. Jiao Jinyu left briefly to check the carriage, and Muo Shuai, feeling abandoned, began to walk away. However, Jiao Jinyu returned, putting a white coat on her to conceal her white hair. Despite initial concerns, Muo Shuai was relieved and happy that Jiao Jinyu didn't leave her. Jiao Jinyu explained that he only did it for her, and Muo Shuai, touched by the gesture, kissed him on the cheek. They continued to enjoy the Lantern Festival together, with Muo Shuai feeling a sense of contentment and hoping that time would pass slowly as these people had become significant to her. As the night progressed, both Jiao Jinyu and Muo Shuai found themselves hesitating to confess the truth to each other. Jiao Jinyu wondered if Muo Shuai would think less of him for being a good-for-nothing, while Muo Shuai was concerned about Jiao Jinyu's perception of her as an idiot. Deciding to address the matter, Jiao Jinyu told Muo Shuai that there was something he wanted to confess. Muo Shuai, thinking he was going to admit to acting as a good-for-nothing, smiled and was prepared to forgive him. Before Jiao Jinyu could speak, the bell he was hiding started ringing. Claiming he needed to go to the toilet, Jiao Jinyu excused himself, leaving Muo Shuai alone. Unsure of what to say, Muo Shuai decided to confess her own truth. However, before she could, her hand mirror, which she used to communicate with Ung, started vibrating. Claiming she also needed to go to the toilet, Muo Shuai and Jiao Jinyu left the inn separately. Once outside, they coincidentally ran into each other. Muo Shui awkwardly explained that it was a cultural practice for girls to maintain distance from the groom before marriage. Jiao Jinyu, curious but accepting, advised her not to wander and be careful not to get lost. After parting ways momentarily, both Jiao Jinyu and Muo Shui had their own thoughts about the situation. Jiao Jinyu felt embarrassed, and Muo Shui found the situation complicated. They eventually met again, walking hand in hand, and discussed their plans. Later, Jiao Jinyu received information from Blue Sparrow about movements in the Huang clan. Huang Yurong had left the palace and was conspiring with her father, Minister Huang, in the study room. Jiao Jinyu planned to visit the Huang residence after the Lantern Festival. Meanwhile, Muo Shui communicated with UNG, confirming their arrival in the capital and discussing their next moves. As they walked towards the Chao clan, Jiao Jinyu and Muo Shui talked about their visit and expressed happiness. Jiao Jinyu mentioned the upcoming visit from a protocol officer, causing displeasure for Muo Shui. They parted ways, planning to meet again later. The story takes a dark turn as the focus shifts to Imperial Consort and her encounter with a mysterious figure who appears to be her father, Huang Yu. In a dimly lit place, Imperial Consort questions why none of the hallway lights are on and expresses frustration at what she perceives as laziness. Suddenly, she spots her father, who seems to be smiling like a devil. Huang Yu, still wearing a smile, asks Imperial Consort to take a closer look at who he is. To her horror, his face changes into hers. The figure reveals herself as a fake Imperial Consort, wielding the power of an unmanifested poisonous insect. Imperial Consort, recognizing the danger, demands to know the identity of the imposter. The fake Imperial Consort displays an emissary token and asserts her authority as the elder of the Witch clan. Imperial Consort, realizing the seriousness of the situation, greets the elder but is frightened by the sudden appearance of the unmanifested poisonous insect. The elder hands her a green pill and reveals that she's aware of Imperial Consort's exposure. The elder tasks her with framing the third princess, Muo Shui, for the incident. Imperial Consort is given a bell to contact the elder and a madness poisonous insect to use on her brother. Distraught and shocked, Imperial Consort contemplates her options, realizing the elder holds her natal poisonous insect hostage. The elder warns her that if her brother doesn't go insane by the night's end, she will suffer the consequences. The next day, Duke Jiao discusses matters with Jiao Jinyu, who is still in bed. Duke informs Jiao Jinyu about the impending visit of a protocol officer and palace spies. Jiao Jinyu, initially nonchalant, changes his mind and suggests waiting until the princess residence is completed before dealing with the spies. Duke reveals that the emperor has decided to cancel the princess residence due to difficulties in finding suitable land. Shocked and frustrated, Jiao Jinyu laments his lack of a proper residence as a husband. Eunuch Hai arrives with Eunuch Li, expressing congratulations and mentioning a desire for change. The highest eunuch, Eunuch Hai, gives a mysterious glance to Jiao Jinyu, leaving him with an unsettling feeling of murderous intent directed towards him. After some time, Muichi made his way to where Muo Shui was located. Upon arrival, he greeted Muo Shui and remarked that she seemed to be doing well. Muo Shui, addressing him as Eunuch Hai, expressed surprise that he had come, shaking with anger. She reminded him of a past incident when her mother sought to see him for the last time, but he never appeared. Muo Shui accused him of following her mother's murderer, Ji Xinghua Eunuch Hai. Eunuch Hai spoke to Muo Shui about the difficulties of obtaining loyalty and righteousness throughout ancient times. He acknowledged that holding a grudge was an option if she chose to do so. He informed Muo Shui that the person she had requested had been brought in. Eunuch Hai then summoned a girl, revealed to be UNG, who had disguised herself to avoid attention. Muo Shui declared UNG as her personal maid from that day onward, instructing UNG to ensure the secrecy of her Kanti clan identity. UNG expressed gratitude to Eunuch Hai for bringing her there. Muo Shui clarified that Eunuch Hai was Ji Xing'an's favorite servant, Eunuch Hai Qinggang. UNG was surprised to learn his identity. Muo Shui cautioned UNG about Eunuch Hai's past actions but decided not to delve further into it. UNG confronted Eunuch Hai about his past failure to save the former Divine Lord, calling him a traitor. UNG attempted to attack him with fire, but Eunuch Hai's shield stopped her. Despite the surprise, UNG acknowledged Eunuch Hai's profound cultivation base. Muo Shui intervened, declaring that their business with Eunuch Hai was finished. Eunuch Hai acknowledged the lateness of the hour and announced his return to the palace to resume his duties. Before leaving, he commented on Muo Shui's potential marriage to Xiao Jinyu, suggesting she might be a bit crazy. Muo Shui dismissed Eunuch Hai's words, stating she had her own discretion. UNG wondered if Muo Shui was serious about the marriage, but Muo Shui assured her there was no need to worry. UNG questioned whether Muo Shui, who had lived secluded in the palace, had been fooled by Xiao Jinyu. Muo Shui explained their foundation was not firm enough to confront Eunuch Hai directly. Noticing a letter on the table, Muo Shui found a confidential letter from Eunuch Hai. The letter expressed remorse and guilt for past actions, explaining the deterioration of his appearance. Muo Shui decided to let him be. Muo Shui instructed UNG to sleep in the side room, and UNG expressed happiness at being closer to the master's bedroom. UNG informed Muo Shui of progress in their matters, revealing that the Huang family's second son had gone crazy the previous night, likely due to poisoning. Muo Shui pondered the situation, contemplating the settlement of the matter. UNG, with admiration, mentioned seeing the master's fiancé from afar, describing him as truly handsome. Muo Shui blushed, acknowledging he wasn't bad. UNG questioned why Muo Shui would allow the master to be with other women right before marriage, leading to Muo Shui's surprise. UNG explained that the other women were sent as personal maids for a trial marriage, prompting Muo Shui's astonishment. Jiao Jinyu pondered the reason behind the old eunuch's hostility towards him. Despite just meeting, the eunuch arranged for someone to guard Chui's residence. Jiao Jinyu questioned whether Chui would be in danger. Contemplating his options, he decided to disregard the inspector's presence and proceeded towards Muo Chui's residence. Upon reaching Muo Chui's residence, Jiao Jinyu encountered soldiers standing guard. They questioned his purpose, and Jiao Jinyu realized they were anticipating his arrival. Although it was his house, the soldiers insisted on restricting access. Jiao Jinyu attempted to use a casual excuse, but the soldiers reminded him of the prohibition on meeting the third princess before marriage. They suggested he go elsewhere to enjoy flowers. Frustrated with the soldiers' thuggish behavior, Jiao Jinyu contemplated whether to force his way in. However, using spiritual power would expose his cultivation ability. Angrily, he informed them that their actions forced him to resort to a body-refining art of entering through the back. Jiao Jinyu shocked them further by poking his fingers into the private parts of the soldiers, claiming it as a special technique with a 1,000-year history. Other soldiers arrived, defending the purity of the third princess. Jiao Jinyu questioned why they were protecting someone else's wife. Meanwhile, in the resting room, Eunuch Hai informed Duke Jiao of his temporary residence in the Jiao residence. He proposed holding the wedding on the second day of the second month. Eunuch Hai also introduced two beautiful girls to assist in Jiao Jinyu's trial marriage. Duke Jiao accepted the wedding proposal and considered the trial marriage matter. Eunuch Hai clarified that the girls would spend a night with Jiao Jinyu to assess his physical capabilities. Duke Jiao appreciated that the girls' youthfulness preserved Yushinsky's reputation. However, the housekeeper interrupted with alarming news. Jiao Jinyu had attacked the inspection officers. Duke Jiao, shocked, rushed to the scene. Upon arrival, he found all officers on the ground except one, who warned Jiao Jinyu not to approach. Jiao Jinyu dismissed the warning, causing Duke Jiao to scold him. Jiao Jinyu, seemingly unfazed, stopped his actions. The officers complained about Jiao Jinyu's humiliation, vowing to report the incident. Duke Jiao, furious, punched Jiao Jinyu, and the officers left. Jiao Jinyu pretended nothing happened. The housekeeper informed Duke Jiao that the officers might report the incident to the court. Duke Jiao asked Jiao Jinyu if he knew about the court-arranged trial marriage partners. He warned that they would ask Jiao Jinyu to complete the trial marriage soon and inquired if he had a plan. Jiao Jinyu, serious about loyalty to his wife, asked Duke Jiao for help to stall them for 10 days. Duke Jiao agreed but questioned Jiao Jinyu's confidence in the plan. Jiao Jinyu assured Duke Jiao and joked about the emperor's interest in their underwear. Duke Jiao advised him to stop joking and asked if he could trust Jiao Jinyu to handle the situation. That night, Muo Shui reflected on her past life, recalling her last memory before death when she was badly hurt. Contemplating the present, she wondered if this was her final fate. She pondered where she had gone wrong and considered how her life might have differed if she had chosen to be with Zhao Jinyu at that critical moment. With blood coming out of her mouth, Muo Shui smiled and expressed that everything on the imperial throne was destined. Despite all, she remained an empress. Her thoughts were interrupted when someone knocked on her door. She instructed Yung to be ready and cautiously opened the door to find Xiao Jinyu. He greeted her, and Muo Shui, hiding behind the door, questioned his purpose. Xiao Jinyu explained that he remembered Muo Chui's spare room was to be used by her personal maid. Amused, Yung thought Xiao Jinyu was resorting to cheap tricks and courting death by mentioning a brothel. Muo Shui confronted him, asking if the girls from brothels were better than her. Yung confirmed the information, leaving Muo Shui angry. Yung agreed to leave the room, and Muo Shui instructed her to return early the next day. After closing the door, Muo Shui questioned Xiao Jinyu's visit. He revealed that the palace had brought 2 maids for a trial marriage. Disturbed, Muo Shui expressed her discomfort with sharing him. Xiao Jinyu reassured her, stating that he came to stay for a few nights to mislead the protocol officers and avoid the need for trial maids. He anticipated the officers' reactions the next day. As Xiao Jinyu left the room, he suddenly remembered Muo Shui hitting him. Nervous, he suggested sleeping in the side room. Muo Shui wondered if he had come only to sleep and felt insecure about her attractiveness. She contemplated the challenges ahead and decided to focus on maintaining her decency. Xiao Jinyu encouraged Muo Shui to rest early, but she grabbed his clothes, blushed, and asked if they could sleep together. Pushing him onto a table, Muo Shui silenced him with a finger on his lips, and they shared an intimate moment. Meanwhile, Yung sat by the roadside, experiencing a little suffering and hunger. Passers-by mistook her for a beggar and offered money. The next day, Zhao Jinyu greeted the world, and officials discussed their work with Duke Jiao. When Zhao Jinyu emerged from Muo Chui's room, Duke Jiao, shocked, questioned if he had entered the wrong court. Muo Shui, rubbing her eyes, joined them, leaving Duke Jiao astonished. That night, as Zhao Jinyu and Muo Shui faced the accusations of moral degeneration from the officials, Duke Jiao couldn't believe the boldness of his son in potentially engaging in such acts with Her Highness. Worried about the consequences, Zhao Jinyu assured Muo Shui and confronted the officials, defending their love and dismissing the accusations. The officials continued to criticize Zhao Jinyu, questioning his worthiness to be a relative of the emperor. Undeterred, Zhao Jinyu calmly arranged for a carriage for the protocol officers and even provided them with snacks. He anticipated their punishment but remained confident. Meanwhile, Unikai informed the emperor about the situation, leading to the dismissal of an official who reported the incident. Another official, fearing punishment, tried to divert attention by claiming Zhao Jinyu cross-dressed in the third princess's room. Back at Jiao residence, the protocol officers returned defeated. Zhao Jinyu, with a triumphant smile, explained his strategy to Duke Jiao. Having successfully dealt with the officers and the trial marriage matters, Zhao Jinyu felt accomplished. As Zhao Jinyu contemplated Muo Shui's behavior, he wondered why she continued to act innocently after sharing the same bed. Duke Jiao marveled at Zhao Jinyu's capability and considered having a drink with him. However, Zhao Jinyu had already taken the liquor bottles to celebrate. Meanwhile, Yung, feeling unwell, decided to take a walk. Muo Chi, thinking Xiao Jinyu had come for another visit, happily mentioned Ung's plan to visit her relatives. Disappointed, Yung confirmed Muo Shui's words. Xiao Jinyu, carrying the liquor, arrived to celebrate their wedding in advance. Muo Shui, unable to resist the celebration, quickly emptied both liquor bottles. Half an hour later, fully intoxicated, she called Zhao Jinyu a big idiot and insisted on more liquor. Amused by her antics, Zhao Jinyu suggested drinking tea to sober up and decided to leave. However, Muo Shui, in her drunken state, pleaded with him to stay, blushing as she asked him to accompany her. Muo Shui, embarrassed yet laughing, insisted that Zhao Jinyu stay overnight. However, Zhao Jinyu, maintaining his values, gently declined her offer, emphasizing his commitment to upright conduct. Just as he contemplated human nature, his bell rang, signaling an urgent message from Blue Sparrow. Blue Sparrow informed him of an approaching group, likely from the northern wilderness, heading to the Chalcedony mine. Jiao Jinyu, exhausted but alert, decided to investigate. Donning his fighting mask and unsheathing his sword, he expressed his determination to deal with the potential threat from the northern barbarians. Meanwhile, a large army approached the witchcraft clan Spirit Mine, targeting the ancestral Spring clan. Inside a carriage in the army, a white-haired girl questioned her master, Yason, about taking orders from Muak Shui. She doubted Mua Chui's worthiness due to her impure bloodline. Yason defended Mua Chui, citing her impressive cultivation in the Dan realm and her atavistic bloodline. He reminded the girl of past challengers who underestimated Mua Chui and lost their lives. As the army advanced, Yashin noticed Jiao Jinyu standing in their way. The white-haired girl confronted Jiao Jinyu, questioning his audacity to block their path. Jiao Jinyu, recalling Mua Shui's connection with the ancestral Spring clan, initially threatened bloodshed. However, upon recognizing the witchcraft clan's claim to the mine, he asserted their protection. The white-haired girl dismissed him as an idiot from the witchcraft clan and challenged him to face their wrath. Jiao Jinyu, with a hint of understanding about the complexities of his past life, lowered his sword, declaring the mine off-limits to the approaching army. The white-haired girl attacked Jiao Jinyu with spiritual knives, but he swiftly intercepted them, destroying one and grabbing the other. Advising her not to be impatient, he expressed reluctance to harm them all. The girl, surprised, tried a swift kick, causing destruction but finding Jiao Jinyu vanished. Seated behind her, he casually informed her of his presence. After throwing her towards her people, he declared a boundary, warning that those who crossed it would face death. The soldiers, realizing Jiao Jinyu's status as a mainland immortal, panicked. Yashin acknowledged Jiao Jinyu's extraordinary power, suggesting he spare the intruders. Jiao Jinyu drew a burning sword, creating a symbolic line, asserting his authority. Yashin attempted to gauge his intentions, realizing the potential consequences of attracting the capital's Jugalo. Jiao Jinyu, recognizing the delicate situation, allowed the intruders to retreat, understanding the benefits of chaos within the capital. The next day, UNG returned, revealing the failure of their operation. Muo Shui explained that the southern barbarian, likely a mainland immortal, thwarted their plans. Yuan Ji, frightened by the idea of a mainland immortal, questioned the potential casualties. Muleshu clarified that the opponent showed mercy, leaving the clansmen unharmed. Yuan Ji, relieved, questioned their next steps. Muo Shui suggested reporting to the court, confident in their unique position. That night, UNG left Jiao resident to report to the court secretly. The Imperial Guards received an order to eliminate any foreign clan found in the Imperial hunting ground. However, they found no trace of outsiders that night. The next day, Jiao Jinyu, lying beside a pill-making plant, was alerted by Blue Sparrow of an impending issue. Blue Sparrow, concerned about his actions, discovered Jiao Jinyu refining pills using a precious 1,000-year-old mushroom. Jiao Jinyu, shocked by the news of the missing mine, suspected the northern barbarians. Blue Sparrow revealed 0 losses due to an informant from the northern barbarians warning them about the Imperial Guards. Jiao Jinyu, though seemingly indifferent, decided to stay low for the time being. Despite Blue Sparrow's attempt to speak, he dismissed her, pondering the consequences of his recent kindness and expressing curiosity about the Northern Wasteland's leader. As Muo Shui approached, Jiao Jinyu seemed lost in his thoughts, prompting her to inquire about his musings. Xiao Jinyu questioned Muleshu about her sudden appearance, prompting her to share something with him. Blue Sparrow, witnessing their affectionate interaction, felt uneasy. Perching on Xiao Jinyu's shoulder, Blue Sparrow drew Muleshu's attention, who found the little bird cute. She asked for permission to touch it, and to Blue Sparrow's surprise, Xiao Jinyu allowed it, mentioning that the bird enjoyed being pampered. Muleshu swiftly grabbed Blue Sparrow from Xiao Jinyu's shoulder, showcasing remarkable speed. Amazed by Muleshu's agility, Xiao Jinyu pondered the explosive power girls exhibit when encountering cute animals. Meanwhile, Muo Shui, seemingly annoyed, told Blue Sparrow that she could keep the bird but reminded her that it belonged to Mwa Chui. Blue Sparrow, shocked by the unusual request, tried to convey her distress to Xiao Jinyu. Muleshu inquired about a problem, and Xiao Jinyu assured her that the protocol officers might not bother her anymore. However, the officers might still gossip about him behind his back. Muo Shui then introduced UNG, who presented a sachet made by Lady Jiao Jin. Xiao Jinyu, jokingly accepting it, noticed the fatigue in Mwa Chui's eyes. The housekeeper interrupted, informing Xiao Jinyu of the DJ's summons, prompting him to leave. Blue Sparrow pleaded with Jiao Jinyu not to abandon her. UNG questioned Muo Shui's intentions with Blue Sparrow, and Mwa Chui explained the bird's potential as a rare spirit animal. Blue Sparrow, protesting being nurtured by Muo Shui, planned to reveal Mwa Chui's true nature to Jiao Jinyu. However, Mwa Chui, considering her husband's weakness, decided to leave insurance for him. In another part of the story, Muo Shui reflected on the absence of threats and the smooth progress of their plans. Jiao Jinyu was shocked to discover that the fifth prince had left, and Duke Jiao informed him about the impending arrival of the fifth prince. Duke explained that the fifth prince possessed divine eyes capable of seeing through people's luck, and that he was sent by the emperor to test Jiao Jinyu. Fearing exposure, Jiao Jinyu attempted to escape, but Duke revealed a plan involving a person in the eastern suburbs and the need to bring a sword. Duke expressed his desire to confront someone named Qing Pinzi. Duke recounted a past event to Jiao Jinyu, revealing that during a confrontation with the Millennium Demon Kingdom, he had entrusted the rearward defense to a person named Qing Pinzi. However, Qing Pinzi's actions had led to a breach of military law, resulting in Duke's anger and a potential punishment. On another occasion, Duke assigned the risky mission of transporting military rations to Qing Pinzi due to a lack of dependable experts in the camp. Duke advised Jiao Jinyu not to always be polite when seeking help, emphasizing that certain people deserve to be cut off. Jiao Jinyu commended Duke's temper, expressing surprise at discovering this aspect of his personality. Duke urged Jiao Jinyu to hurry, emphasizing the need to address the weakness of the fifth prince's divine eyes before they become vulnerable to an attack. In a different part of the story, the fifth prince reached the location where Qing Pinzi was present, seeking to borrow the Black Tortoise diagram. Qing Pinzi, seated at Xuantian Temple, engaged in a conversation with the fifth prince, expressing reluctance to lend the diagram. The fifth prince insisted on borrowing it to avoid examination, leading to a tense exchange between them. Meanwhile, Duke Jiao and Jiao Jinyu were en route to the location with Lightspeed Qingping. Qing Pinzi felt nervous, recalling a past injury, and Duke Jiao encouraged him to hold on until they reached the military camp. Qing Pinzi suggested that Duke's son recognize him as a godfather to secure his survival. As the fifth prince pressed Qing Pinzi to lend the Black Tortoise diagram, Duke Xiao and Jiao Jinyu approached the Taoist temple. Jiao Jinyu made a jest about an old person flaunting knowledge, but Duke explained the significance of an immortal dwelling in a mountain. Suddenly, a bird arrived with a letter from Qingping, informing them that the Black Tortoise diagram had been taken by Ji Ruan, the fifth prince. Duke recognized the urgency of the situation and revealed the presence of the fifth prince behind them. Jiao Jinyu was instructed to hide while Duke prepared to handle the situation. The fifth prince greeted Duke, expressing a desire to chat, but their conversation was interrupted by Ji Ruan, who revealed the presence of Jiao Wuji, the Jiao clan's young master, inside Duke's carriage. Duke was surprised by this unexpected development. The fifth prince observed Duke Jiao Cheng Wu and noted that his aura remained as fierce as ever, even after many years. Expressing curiosity about Duke's son, the fifth prince suggested having a chat. However, Duke informed the fifth prince that his son, Jiao Jinyu, had caught a cold, making it an inconvenient time for a meeting. Duke sensed that the fifth prince had come prepared, anticipating challenges in dealing with him. Betrayal, a person accompanying the fifth prince, offered to help Jiao Jinyu with his cold. Despite Betrayal's reassurance, Duke insisted on handling the matter himself. Duke approached Jiao Jinyu and discussed the presence of both the fifth prince and Baichuan, a powerful Jugo, making the situation difficult. Jiao Jinyu suggested attacking them, but Duke cautioned him and expressed doubt about Jiao Jinyu's strength against a Jugo. Xiao Jinyu asserted his invincibility in a one-on-one battle, but Duke urged caution and instructed Jiao Jinyu to flee if the situation turned sour. Duke, holding Jiao Jinyu's ears, insisted that Jiao Jinyu should go out to meet the fifth prince. When they emerged from the carriage, Xiao Jinyu addressed Duke as old man and remarked about Bai Chuan's presence, calling him beauty. Bai Chuan engaged in playful banter, asking about Xiao Jinyu's name and marital status. The fifth prince invited Xiao Jinyu to diagnose his cold, leading to a brief exchange between the characters. Duke encouraged Jiao Jinyu to go, and both Jiao Jinyu and Bai Chuan playfully bantered with each other. As they left, the fifth prince suggested Duke take back the sword Jiao Jinyu used. After the fifth prince's departure, Jiao Jinyu asked Duke about the situation, questioning whether the fifth prince saw through him. Duke suggested being cautious, and Jiao Jinyu noticed the sachet given by Muo Shui feeling hot. Suddenly, Duke shouted at Jiao Jinyu to hurry, and they left the area. Meanwhile, UNG discussed with Muo Shui about the treasures brought by the Great General and the use of Heavenly Secrets talisman. Blue Sparrow, not interested in eating insects, explained that she would only understand the worth when she has someone she loves. Muo Shui, drinking tea, expressed that it didn't matter whether it was worthwhile or not. For someone loved dearly, Blue Sparrow expressed that the insects she had chosen in the past, amidst a snowing mountain, held significance. On a snowy day, Bai Chuan, with his original arm, pondered the arrival of individuals, wondering if they were seeking disciples again. Observing the soldiers' dead bodies, he contemplated the relentless human tendency to pursue imaginary power, even willing to kill each other. Bai Chuan found their stubborn presence troublesome. Seated in the snow, the fifth prince, covered in snow, was advised by Bai Chuan to return, stating that the fortune teller inside had never accepted disciples. Bai Chuan thanked the fifth prince for the information and questioned his motives, asking if it was for power, status, or love. The fifth prince's response was unintelligible to Bai Chuan, who leaned closer, seeking clarification. However, upon closer inspection, Bai Chuan was shocked to see the fifth prince's face covered in ice and snow. The fifth prince clarified that his aspirations were for the well-being of all people under heaven, dismissing Bai Chuan's dream. Upon waking, Bai Chuan asked the fifth prince how long he had slept. The fifth prince, engrossed in a book, informed him of approximately 2 hours and mentioned that there was still time before reaching the capital. Bai Chuan inquired about Jiao Jinyu, questioning the genuineness of his aura. The fifth prince considered Jiao Jinyu a potential calamity, but Bai Chuan thought otherwise, contemplating the meaning behind the killing intent. Bai Chuan suggested the fifth prince return to the dwelling star mountain to maintain his strength, but the fifth prince declined, stating a purpose to assist the Jiao dynasty in facing an impending calamity. Bai Chuan inquired about the fifth prince's fate, suggesting a return to the dwelling star mountain. However, the fifth prince insisted on staying to deal with the looming calamity in the imperial court. Upon reaching the capital, Bai Chuan requested to be awakened. The fifth prince replied with a simple okay, leaving Bai Chuan with nothing more to say. Meanwhile, Jiao Jinyu, polishing his sword, encountered Duke Jiao, who expressed displeasure about Jiao Jinyu's joking interactions with Bai Chuan. Jiao Jinyu explained that Bai Chuan transformed into a boy to avoid causing any discomfort to the fifth prince. Duke Jiao was surprised to hear this, questioning how Jiao Jinyu knew about the fifth prince. Jiao Jinyu clarified that he initially didn't remember the fifth prince but recalled him upon seeing Bai Chuan. Jiao Jinyu described Bai Chuan as a mounting god with the ability to choose gender during shapeshifting. Initially wanting to be a girl, Bai Chuan ultimately decided to be a boy. Duke Jiao asked why Bai Chuan chose to be a boy, and Jiao Jinyu recounted a song about connecting hearts and being compatriots. Referring to Bai Chuan and the third prince as a pair of heroes, Jiao Jinyu mentioned the envy-inducing relationship between the two. Duke Jiao noted that they seemed to have attempted to harm Jiao Jinyu earlier. Smiling, Jiao Jinyu told Duke Jiao that the perspectives on being the best in the world varied, and in the chaotic world, individual strength was insignificant. Jiao Jinyu looked at his sword, reflecting on different standpoints, emphasizing the absence of absolute right or wrong. In the age of chaos, individuals clung to precious things for various reasons, and Jiao Jinyu's goal was to protect those around him. Determined not to have regrets in this life, he expressed a willingness to do anything. On the other side, the brother of an imperial consort had become an idiot, displaying erratic behavior that raised concerns. When Minister Huang, his father, observed this peculiar behavior, he grew worried, pondering for half a month about who could have caused this transformation in his son. Suddenly, a strong smell enveloped the air around him, prompting Minister Huang to cover his nose in realization of its suspicious nature. To his surprise, both his son and a maid fell asleep after inhaling the mysterious scent. A voice, belonging to UNT, reassured Minister Huang that it was just a regular sleeping drug and that he would withstand its effects. Yuan Ji and Muo Shui arrived, faces covered, and Yuan Ji informed Minister Huang about the sleeping drug. When Ji inquired if Minister Huang would make a trade with her master, he looked at them, smiled, and kneeled, addressing UNT as the third princess, Muo Shui. Minister Huang revealed that he had suspected Muo Shui's identity years ago when he noticed his daughter, the imperial consort, trembling in fear at the mention of Her Highness. Muo Shui questioned how he had figured it out, and Minister Huang explained that both of their clothes were wet, indicating the use of a hidden door known only to Muo Shui. Muo Shui uncovered her face, acknowledging Minister Huang's intelligence, and asked him to stand. When he inquired about the reason for the visit, Muo Shui explained her desire to sneak into the army for the upcoming Hidden Immortal Summit. Minister Huang, contemplating the request, questioned if she wanted him to deceive the emperor. Muo Shui proposed a trade. She would cure Huang Xing's ailment in exchange for Minister Huang's assistance. Minister Huang, with a devilish smile, deemed his son useless but considered the treasonous act not beneficial. Muo Shui mentioned the ongoing conflict with the witch clan, stating that she could handle Huang Yurong's actions using her natal poisonous insect. Additionally, she offered to find a primary fetus inside the Hidden Immortal Summit that could reverse aging. Minister Huang, still hesitant, was thanked by Muo Shui for his compassion. She stated that if he remained unsatisfied, she would leave, prompting Minister Huang to bow down, expressing his willingness to serve her like a dog and a horse. Muo Shui, observing Minister Huang, thought that he must be feeling smug, knowing that she could exploit him as she did in her previous life. Meanwhile, Emperor Ji Sheng, surrounded by immortals, expressed gratitude for their assistance to the imperial court. Unexpectedly, Chun Yangzi, known as the Master of Eternal Thunder, appeared, representing one of the 9 peaks in the Tai sect. Emperor Ji Sheng, recognizing the opportunity to secure help, welcomed Chun Yangzi. Chun Yangzi proposed a 20-year alliance, offering assistance to the Zhou dynasty in exchange for the authority to develop the Hidden Immortal Summit. Emperor Ji Sheng questioned the trustworthiness of Chun Yangzi and the girl accompanying him. Chun Yangzi introduced the girl as his disciple, Jin Mujin. Ji Sheng invited Mujin to sit and talk, noting her politeness. Chun Yangzi then revealed a condition. During the expedition to the Hidden Immortal Summit, he wished for all individuals sent by the prince and vassal states to perish. Chen Yangzi was astonished to hear Chun Yangzi's proposal of sacrificing tens of thousands of loyal soldiers, all devoted to the Zhou dynasty. Mujin softly called Chun Yangzi's name, prompting him to provide his answer to Emperor Ji Sheng. After the banquet, both Mujin and Chun Yangzi strolled together, and Chun Yangzi expressed that the armies in question were indeed loyal to the Zhou dynasty. Ji Sheng, driven to plot against his own people, left Chun Yangzi in a dilemma. Mujin, addressing Chun Yangzi by his name, questioned if his lengthy cultivation on the mountain had turned his brain into a stone. Chun Yangzi, taken aback by the inquiry, listened as Mujin explained the complexities facing the Zhou dynasty, with potential threats from the southern border, northern wasteland, Millennium Demon Kingdom, princes, and vassals. She highlighted the significance of Huang Yu under Ji Sheng's command, and the establishment of 3 direct militaries by the imperial court. Chen Yangzi inquired why the Jiao clan didn't seize the emperor's seat, and Mujin clarified that the Zhou dynasty still had support from 9 Zhugo, each a formidable force. Mujin stressed that the Zhugo wouldn't easily obey imperial orders, making a takeover by the Jiao clan challenging. She suggested that the current expedition to the Hidden Immortal Summit presented an opportunity to reduce internal threats. Chun Yangzi, finding the situation tedious, criticized the imperial household's penchant for indirect approaches. Mujin, smiling, asked if such strategies weren't beneficial for capitalizing on opportunities, pondering Chun Yangzi's boredom. She mused that Ji Sheng had yet to understand the true value of the Hidden Immortal Summit and her master's sword. Blushing like a fangirl, Mu-jin contemplated finding her beloved master in this life. Meanwhile, in the Jiao residence, Muo Shuei asked Yung about Duke Jiao's whereabouts. Yung informed her that Duke Jiao's usual carriage hadn't returned, and Muo Shuei expressed relief, avoiding the need to explain her absence. Mui mentioned that Blue Sparrow hadn't eaten all day, instructing Yung to bring some food for it. Upon Zhao Jinyu's return home, he felt apprehensive, remembering that his older sister was due to return soon. Concerned about potential trouble, he also realized that his sister was unaware of his engagement. Suddenly, Blue Sparrow, who had gone missing, reappeared and sat on Zhao Jinyu's shoulder. Zhao Jinyu questioned her return, and Blue Sparrow, annoyed, emphasized her human identity. She accused Muo Shuei of deceiving Zhao Jinyu and questioned his indifference to her forced cultivation. Zhao Jinyu dismissed the incident with Yung and Muo Shuei trying to catch Blue Sparrow, finding it amusing. The next day, Muo Shuei presented a crow dyed in blue color to Zhao Jinyu, claiming it to be Blue Sparrow. When questioned, she initially acted dumb but later revealed the truth. The next day, Mu Jin and Chun Yangzi found themselves in an inn. Chun Yangzi remarked on the prosperity of the capital but complained about the inferior quality of the liquor compared to that of the Thai sect. Mu Jin, however, remained silent, gazing out of the window at the Jiao residence. Chun Yangzi, expressing his willingness to stay with Mu Jin while she waited for someone, was met with Mu Jin's silence. She was lost in thought as she observed the activity outside. Chen Yangzi, having accompanied her for half a day, told Mu Jin that he was fine staying with her but suggested she couldn't just leave him talking to himself. Just as Mu Jin contemplated Chen Yangzi's words, her attention was caught by the sight of Duke Jiao and Zhao Jinyu emerging from their residence. Mu Jin blushed intensely at the sight of her master, Sword King Zhao Jinyu. However, her joy turned into anger as she noticed Mu Luo Shuei standing beside him. Mu Jin's fangirl demeanor transformed into determination to confront Muo Shuei. In her fury, Mu Jin called Muo Shuei an audacious person and declared her intention to kill her. Chun Yangzi, attempting to lighten the mood, offered to help Mu Jin with her drink, but her focus remained on Xiao Jinyu and Mu Luo Shuei. Unable to contain her anger, Mu Jin stood up, through the table, and declared her intent to kill Muo Shuei. Chen Yangzi, surprised by her reaction, was confused about why she was so agitated. Mu Jin, realizing she needed to calm down, left the scene. Chen Yangzi urged her to wait for him and asked where she was going. Meanwhile, Zhao Jinyu sensed a familiar aura as Xiao Jinyu's older sister, Ruan, returned from the border. Duke Xiao offered hospitality to Ruan, but she diverted the conversation, questioning why Xiao Jinyu was getting married so soon. Zhao Jinyu teased her, asking if she was jealous. Ruan hinted at rumors about the third princess and confronted Muo Shuei. She then went on to demand money from Zhao Jinyu, revealing plans to raise personal armies for the Jiao clan. The tension escalated, and Duke Xiao was taken aback by the childish squabble between Zhao Jinyu and Ruan. Amidst the chaos, Chen Yangzi returned after checking the place where Tianyao Azi was attacked, adding another layer to the unfolding events. Mu Jin inquired about the situation, and Chen Yangzi informed her that the sword Kai traces on Tianyao's body resembled their sect's technique. Mu Jin then asked if anyone from their sect had recently descended the mountain, to which Chen Yangzi replied that while some had come down, none were capable of piercing Tianyi Pavilion's restrictions with a sword and injuring Tianyao Azi. Mu Jin speculated that it might be the sword master Zhao Jinyu, but she quickly dismissed the thought, realizing that in this life, Zhao Jinyu hadn't joined the Taoist sect yet and shouldn't have any cultivation. He had always been in the Jiao residence. Feeling angered by Mu Luo Shuei's closeness to Zhao Jinyu, Mu Jin asked Chun Yangzi for help in getting rid of someone. Chun Yangzi, confused, inquired about the identity of the person she wanted to eliminate. That night, Chun Yangzi, dressed as an assassin, went to the Jiao residence. Reflecting on the situation, he decided not to use the sect's technique for such shady jobs. Chun Yangzi prepared human-shaped paper dolls, expressing that he held no grudges, but this day would mark the target's death. He activated his spiritual energy on the paper dolls, using his ghost-controlling art to awaken ghost killers, sending them towards the Jiao residence. The ghost killers infiltrated the Jiao residence, where Muo Shuei was with Yung, instructing Wenji to write a letter. Jiao Jinyu, taking a bath, sensed someone's presence. After completing the letter, Ung warned Muo Shui of an approaching ghost killer. Just in time, a mysterious sword-wielding figure intervened, saving Muo Shui from the attack. As the figure swiftly dealt with the first ghost killer, for more approached Muo Shui. The mysterious swordsman efficiently dispatched all the attackers. Muo Shui, surprised and grateful, wondered who had saved her and how they wielded such a powerful sword Kai from a small hole. Outside the Jiao residence, Chen Yangzi faced confusion as his connections were abruptly cut off. Witnessing a bright light emanating from the Jiao residence, Chen Yangzi realized that the sword he had sensed was attacking him. Barely evading the strike, Chen Yangzi retreated, fearful of the terrifying sword Kai. Chen Yangzi, considering the hidden expert in the Jiao residence, was confronted by Xiao Jinyu wearing his war mask. Xiao Jinyu commended Chen Yangzi for releasing ghosts and asked if he had any last words. Chen Yangzi, relishing the challenge, attempted to escape but was surprised as Xiao Jinyu closed the distance instantly. Jiao Jinyu joined the confrontation, attacking Chen Yangzi with his sword, leading to a tense and intense situation. Zi asked him to wait a moment, but Jiao Jinyu didn't stop and attacked Chen Yangzi. However, he could not touch Chen Yangzi due to a protective barrier. Xiao Jinyu noted that Chen Yangzi had a barrier bracelet, a protective treasure that shielded him from attacks. Despite Chen Yangzi's attempts to communicate, Xiao Jinyu attacked again. Jiao Jinyu halted the attack and remarked that Chen Yangzi seemed like a hitman. He suggested that if Chen Yangzi revealed who was behind him, his corpse would be left intact. Jiao Jinyu employed his sword-controlling art, creating a sword formation that surrounded Chen Yangzi and Xiao Jinyu, aiming to keep Chen Yangzi from leaving. Chen Yangzi warned Jiao Jinyu about the potential consequences of their fight in the capital, attracting attention from the authorities. Jiao Jinyu questioned the effectiveness of Chen Yangzi's bracelet until the juggalos arrived. Jiao Jinyu attempted to strike Chen Yangzi from behind, but Xiao Jinyu intervened with his slashing epoch technique, surprising Chen Yangzi. Chen Yangzi, adapting and entering his true immortal form, declared his intent to fight Jiao Jinyu to the death. As the battle unfolded, Thunder Dharma, recognizing Chen Yangzi as Xiao Jinyu's senior brother, was surprised to see him using the Thai Orthodox sect's Great Thunder Dharma. Jiao Jinyu and Chen Yangzi exchanged sword techniques and thunder attacks, resulting in a massive blast. Jiao Jinyu, recalling that only he and Chen Yangzi had learned the thunder art technique in his past life, questioned why his senior brother, Chen Yangzi, was present. Jiao Jinyu considered the situation and realized that he had to make his senior brother recuperate for a few months to prevent potential harm. Both Xiao Jinyu and Chen Yangzi agreed to settle the confrontation in 15 rounds when suddenly, Bai Chuan and Hai appeared. They questioned the audacity of the two fighters in the capital, surprising Xiao Jinyu and Chen Yangzi. Jiao Jinyu wondered about the presence of Bai Chuan and considered if the fifth prince was also around. When Jiao Jinyu saw the fifth prince, he suspected that the prince might possess the divine eye. Reacting impulsively, Jiao Jinyu launched his sword chi towards the fifth prince, but Bai Chuan and Junichi quickly intervened. Bai Chuan expressed anger at the attack on Jiruan, but the culprits had disappeared. Chen Yangzi, having climbed a building, noted the presence of hidden experts in the capital. However, Mu Shu emerged, shooting an arrow that pierced Chen Yangzi's chest, declaring her intent to eradicate the enemy completely. The situation escalated with unexpected participants, adding more complexity to the unfolding events in the capital. Muo Shui, tired from using the sunbow, wondered who had helped her in the critical moment. Unaware that her husband, Jiao Jinyu, concealed a light immortal expert, Mu Shu pondered if the threat came from the imperial family or the witch clan. Ung, concerned about Muo Shui's well-being, asked if she was okay. Muo Shui, adopting a villainous expression, dismissed the importance, stating that even though the sunbow didn't kill the assassin, it left a mark. She vowed to eliminate him if he dared to return. Muo Shui requested paper and a brush from Ung, expressing her intention to refine magic treasures. Despite her critical situation, she worried about Jiao Jinyu's safety. Meanwhile, Mu Jin, in another room, heard the door opening and realized Chen Yangzi had returned. Surprised by Chen Yangzi's serious injuries, she inquired about the cause. Chen Yangzi admitted to being careless and reflected on his extended stay in the mountains. Mu Jin offered to fetch help from Taiseki for Chen Yangzi, but he declined, asserting his capability as one of the 9 peak masters to handle the situation. Chen Yangzi requested Mu Jin to guard him for 3 days, and she agreed. When Mu Jin asked about Mule Shu, Chen Yangzi hinted that Mule Shu might still be alive. This revelation shocked Mu Jin, leading her to berate Chen Yangzi for being unable to kill an ordinary human. Chen Yangzi disclosed that he had been forced to use the thunder art technique, risking exposure. Mu Jin expressed frustration and anger, hitting Chen Yangzi for jeopardizing Jiao Jinyu. Meanwhile, Unikai recognized Chen Yangzi's thunder dharma attack but was puzzled about the other person involved. The 5th prince, Ji Ruan, joined the discussion, and Bai Chuan expressed his determination to capture the attackers if encountered again. Unikai informed the 5th prince and Bai Chuan that the attacker's sword resembled Duke Jiao's son's weapon. The 5th prince cautioned against jumping to conclusions, asserting that Jiao Jinyu was a normal person. Unikai suggested reporting to the emperor, but the 5th prince advised caution due to the Jiao clan's deep influence. Jiao Jinyu, secretly listening, became angry at the prospect of causing harm to innocent people and contemplated his next steps. Xiao Jinyu, concerned about Muo Shui's safety, visited her residence, wondering about his wife's well-being after the commotion. He knocked on Muo Shui's door, expressing concern and inquiring if she was okay. Xiao Jinyu speculated that his silly wife was likely making preparations to deal with the situation. Meanwhile, Mu Shu was nervous about encountering Jiao Jinyu and attempted to act like an ordinary girl. Muo Shui, surprised to see Jiao Jinyu, recounted the incident, stating that a weird person had broken in, making her scared. Xiao Jinyu hugged her to provide comfort. UNG observed Muo Shui's sudden change in personality after Jiao Jinyu left. Jiao Jinyu, pondering his next steps, was interrupted when Duke Jiao approached, inquiring about the disturbance. Duke Jiao questioned if Xiao Jinyu had attacked a thief. Xiao Jinyu explained that ghosts were released in the residence, and he had to intervene. Concerned about his elder sister, Jiao Jinyu learned that she was visiting subordinates and hadn't been seen all day. He requested Duke Jiao not to inform his sister about the incident to avoid unnecessary worry. Duke Jiao inquired if Xiao Jinyu had exposed his real strength, and Xiao Jinyu discussed the challenges of dealing with potential enemies from the Jiao clan. Subsequently, Duke Jiao informed Xiao Jinyu about the arrival of eunuch Li from the palace, who conveyed the emperor's decree. The emperor invited Duke Jiao and Jiao Jinyu to a banquet at the Heavenly Pure Palace. Duke Jiao and Jiao Jinyu speculated about the emperor's intentions and the potential dangers at the banquet. Despite the uncertainty, they decided to attend to avoid appearing suspicious. In the palace, the emperor, accompanied by Minister Huang, discussed the participation of noble consort Huang's daughter, Junichi, in the upcoming banquet. Minister Huang assured the emperor of his daughter's loyalty. The emperor found the situation entertaining and looked forward to the events at the banquet. Back at the Jiao residence, Duke Jiao and Jiao Jinyu contemplated the emperor's invitation, suspecting it might be a trap. They acknowledged the lack of direct evidence against them, but considered attending to avoid arousing suspicion. Jiao Jinyu expressed confidence in his ability to escape if needed. Duke Jiao, angered by Jiao Jinyu's casual demeanor, questioned him about the expert in their clan. Jiao Jinyu assured Duke Jiao that he would return later to discuss their plans. As Jiao Jinyu left, Duke Jiao wondered if Xiao Jinyu had detected the presence of the supposed expert. Jiao Jinyu, on the other hand, pondered the identity of the potential expert and dismissed the idea that old Fu could be the one. Many years ago, Ji Yuan was teaching Ji Chang, the son of the current emperor. Ji Chang answered all the questions confidently, impressing Ji Yuan. As Ji Chang was about to leave, Ji Yuan asked him why he insisted on learning medicine from him when there were skilled imperial physicians in the palace. Ji Chang revealed that a maid who had cared for him since childhood died due to lack of timely treatment. Ji Yuan was pleased with Ji Chang's answer and sensed the potential for a benevolent king in the Zhou dynasty. In the present time, in the imperial palace, Unikai greeted the 5th prince and informed him that the emperor was waiting at the Hall of Mental Cultivation. Bai Chuan was asked to wait, and he questioned Unikai about it. Jiao, now understanding the nature of the imperial palace, intervened and assured Bai Chuan that he knew what he was doing. As Eunuch Hai and the fifth prince walked towards the hall of mental cultivation, the prince inquired if the emperor was alone. Eunuch Hai revealed that the emperor had also summoned the princes and princesses. Jiao realized that the emperor wanted to use his eye to glimpse the future of the royal family, similar to what happened 10 years ago. In a flashback, Emperor summoned Ji Chang to examine his future using his eye. Ji Chang saw the aura of a king around himself and expressed the belief that everything was possible, even without the aura of a king. The emperor, pleased with Ji Chang's words, presented him with a treasure sword. However, in a shocking turn of events, the emperor unexpectedly beheaded Ji Chang with the sword. Back in the present, Jiao, still shocked by the memory, watched as the fifth prince arrived. He feared that the emperor might repeat the tragic event from years ago and wondered why the emperor couldn't spare even his own children. Jiao believed that Jinga was unworthy to be a king and that unjust people must face the consequences of their karma. On the other side, Duke Chao and Zhao Jinyu entered the imperial palace along with the fifth prince, Jiao. The emperor, Ji Xinghua, greeted them, referring to Jiao as imperial uncle. The emperor asked Jiao to evaluate the potential of his children by examining their auras. The princes and princesses hoped to make a favorable impression on Jiao. As Jiao observed, he found none of the emperor's children to be particularly noteworthy. Jiao examined the sword used to kill Ji Chang and then looked at his children for approval. Jiao, despite the hopeful gazes, honestly stated that while all of them had potential, they still needed cultivation to display remarkable auras. The emperor questioned Jiao, asking if he was certain that none of his children stood out. Ji Xinj released his powerful aura in an attempt to impress, but Jiao remained truthful. The emperor, after a serious moment, laughed and thanked Jiao. He dismissed his children for the day. However, the second prince, Hung Yi, arrived late, causing a commotion as he tripped and fell. Jiao noticed a small golden dragon in Hung Yi's aura. While helping him up, Jiao advised Hung Yi to leave the capital if he wanted to survive. Emperor, curious about the situation, asked Jiao about Hung Yi, and Jiao assured the emperor that the prince had a good heart. Outside the room, Chen Yangzi and Mu Jin overheard the proceedings. Mu Jin assured Chen Yangzi that the emperor would likely be grateful to him for forcing a Jiao clan expert to reveal himself. Meanwhile, Duke Chao and Zhao Jinyu were playfully fighting over food. Duke Chao wanted a reaction from Bai Chuan, but Bai Chuan remained unfazed. Zhao Jinyu noticed that Bai Chuan was using drifting consciousness and wondered about the fifth prince's safety. Back inside, Emperor introduced immortals Mu Jin and Chen Yangzi to Jiao. Jiao, surprised by their presence, began sweating. He felt a sense of relief that he could detect the calamity's aura around Mu Jin, concluding that she needed to be killed to prevent calamity. As Jiao pointed at Mu Jin, he urged the emperor to kill her immediately, believing her presence would bring disaster to the people. Jiao warned the emperor that Mu Jin's aura was that of the Mars calamity, capable of bringing chaos to the world. However, Mu Jin responded calmly, pointing out the intoxicated state of the prince before the banquet even began. Suddenly, Jiao grabbed the emperor's sword and declared his intent to kill Mu Jin. Chen Yangzi, angered by Jiao's words, released his spiritual energy towards Jiao. Bai Chuan, summoned by Jiao, appeared in white fog and was instructed to kill Mu Jin. Bai Chuan, showing a flourishing aura in the light immortal realm, attacked Chen Yangzi with spiritual blades. However, Chen Yangzi blocked the attacks and created a barrier to defend against Bai Chuan. Bai Chuan revealed a blind spot in Chen Yangzi's barrier, hitting him in the heart with a spiritual blade. However, Chen Yangzi's body turned into white fog, surprising Bai Chuan. Chen Yangzi reappeared behind Bai Chuan, claiming to know about Bai Chuan's skills and attacking him with a lightning spear. Bai Chuan defended himself, stating that his power was enough to handle Chen Yangzi. When their attacks collided, a huge blast of spiritual energy shook the palace. Duke Jiao sensed the spiritual energy and remarked that experts were fighting inside. Zhao Jinyu speculated that one of the fighters could be Bai Chuan. Meanwhile, Duke Chao and Zhao Jinyu, who were playfully fighting over food, discussed the excitement of the ongoing battle. As the fight continued, Eunuch Hai, who was protecting the emperor, informed him that the light immortals were holding back due to the people in the palace, and their restraint wouldn't last much longer. Emperor contemplated the situation, torn between the potential of the expert Bai Chuan and Ji Ruan's warning about the Mars calamity. Suddenly, Mu Jin addressed the emperor, mentioning the heavenly marshal Ji Xing and revealing that the heavenly marshal's relic was in the hidden immortal summit. She suggested a private conversation to discuss the matter further. The emperor, intrigued, called Eunuch Hai and asked him to intervene in Bai Chuan and Chun Yang's fight. Jiao Jinyu started acting drunk, shouting at servants and demanding more liquor. Duke Chao joined the act, asking for more drinks. They playfully fought over food, creating a scene in the imperial palace. Duke Chao suggested that this would be enough to get away by pretending to be drunk before the banquet. Jiao Jinyu agreed, and Duke Chao decided it was Jiao Jinyu's turn to cause a scene. They continued their playful fighting, with servants looking on in disbelief. Suddenly, another servant approached and delivered a message to Jiao Jinyu. The message was from His Majesty, asking Jiao Jinyu to meet with Imperial Consort Huang, who wanted to give the princess some jewels as dowry. Jiao Jinyu was surprised by the unexpected request. He questioned the servant about why Imperial Consort Huang would seek him out for such a purpose. The servant had no information and Jiao Jinyu suspected there might be a scheme involved. Despite his reservations, Jiao Jinyu couldn't defy the order. As Jiao Jinyu left for Imperial Consort Huang's room, he noticed someone else there, second Prince Hung Yi. Jiao Jinyu and Hung Yi had a history of playing together when they were younger. Jiao Jinyu approached Hung Yi, while Hung Yi, lost in his thoughts, was worried about the fate of his imperial brother who never returned from the Hall of Heart Cultivation. Jiao Jinyu suddenly appeared in front of Hung Yi, surprising him. Hung Yi, hesitant and uneasy, greeted Jiao Jinyu. Jiao Jinyu playfully teased him, and the two began chasing each other. Hung Yi, recalling an unpleasant encounter, ran away while Jiao Jinyu pursued him. During the chase, Jiao Jinyu summoned his spiritual companion, Blue Sparrow, who took human form. Blue Sparrow intercepted Hung Yi, creating a playful confrontation between them. Jiao Jinyu joined them, and the situation became tense. However, Blue Sparrow returned to her bird form and fell unconscious on a tree. Jiao Jinyu questioned Hung Yi about his sudden escape, suspecting that he might be hiding something. Hung Yi, afraid to reveal the truth, insisted that it was nothing. Jiao Jinyu, sensing that Hung Yi was hiding something, decided to keep an eye on him using Blue Sparrow. Before meeting Imperial Consort Huang, Jiao Jinyu instructed Blue Sparrow to watch over Hung Yi. He then returned to the servant who was escorting him to Imperial Consort Huang's room. As he entered the room, he encountered some kind of smoke that caused him to inhale and become hypnotized. Imperial Consort Huang greeted him as darling. On the other hand, Mua Qi was treating Minister Huang's son's madness by injecting her spiritual energy into his head. A poisonous insect emerged from his nose, which Mu promptly killed. Mu Shui informed Minister Huang that the poisonous insect inside his son had been removed, and they would deal with his daughter's natal poisonous insect after returning from the hidden immortal summit. Minister Huang expressed gratitude for Mu Shui's assistance. Minister Huang was surprised at Mu Shui's ability to truly remove the poisonous insect. He commented on the talent and skills of the third princess and expressed concern about her marriage to Jiao Jinyu. However, Minister Huang assured Mu Shui that they could proceed with their plan to charge Jiao Jinyu with a crime, as the emperor desired to eliminate him. Mu Shui questioned the method, and Minister Huang suggested accusing Jiao Jinyu of committing adultery with an imperial consort. Mu Shui, angered by the proposal, controlled her emotions and reminded Minister Huang of the sacrifices made by his family members. Minister Huang, acknowledging the sacrifices, explained that everything was for the emperor's sake and reiterated that he had no other choice. Mu Shui asked if she should say, as expected of Minister Huang, and he acknowledged the flattery. As Mu Shui left Minister Huang's residence, he smiled at her through the window. Mu Shui, in her thoughts, expressed concern for Jiao Jinyu's safety and prayed for his well-being. In Imperial Consort Huang's room, Jiao Jinyu used true vital circulation to awaken from his drugged state. He pushed Imperial Consort Huang away, expressing his marital status. He cursed the emperor for using such a venomous scheme and realized that the support services had arrived. Soldiers surrounded the scene, investigating the situation. Meanwhile, a maid revealed her true identity as Jiao Jinyu, thanking the unmanifested poisonous insect for providing an alibi. Jiao Jinyu, posing as a stone-throwing fish servant and later flirting with maids, created confusion to fortify his alibi. Jiao Jinyu, successfully creating a diversion, dragged Hung Yi around the palace, pretending to play together. Soldiers chased after them, and Jiao Jinyu continued to act playfully with Hung Yi. The plan aimed to solidify an alibi and divert attention from the events in Imperial Consort Huang's room. A day earlier, Jiao Jinyu had prepared for his visit to the Imperial Palace, considering the delicate balance between the Jiao and Tian clans. Blue Sparrow had observed him working, falling asleep on his lap. As the morning arrived, Jiao Jinyu wondered about the emperor's scheme and left for the palace. Unexpectedly, Mwazu appeared in front of his room. She expressed a desire for breakfast with him and questioned his whereabouts. Jiao Jinyu informed her about the palace banquet and left for washing his face. Mulaku surprised him by calling him husband and expressing her support. Jiao Jinyu blushed but assured her that he would depend on his wife. Mulaku, while running towards the Imperial Palace, reflected on her miscalculations. She hoped that Jiao Jinyu wouldn't fall for the scheme orchestrated by Ji Xinji and Huang Yu. Soldiers tried to stop her, but she threw a Tian clan identity token, allowing her entry. Inside the palace, Muo Shui, Mwazu, and Jiao Jinyu encountered each other. Soldiers approached, asking them to stop, creating a tense situation. In response to the soldiers questioning Jiao Jinyu's actions within the palace, Mulaku identified herself as the third imperial princess of the Zhou dynasty. She ordered the soldiers to stop, revealing her true identity. Jiao Jinyu, surprised by Mulaku's departure from her usual character, grabbed her hand and planned to bring her to safety. As they ran, Jiao Jinyu couldn't understand Mulaku's decision to abandon her typical behavior. Mulaku, however, recalled a similar incident from their past life, where Jiao Jinyu had acted similarly. She smiled, appreciating her husband's protective instincts. In the Imperial Palace, Emperor instructed Yunkai to intervene and stop the fight between Chun Yangzi and Bai Chuan. Yunhai jumped between them, creating a barrier to halt the confrontation. Both Chun Yangzi and Bai Chuan tried to control their power, but even that proved too much for Yunkai, who was injured and bleeding. Chun Yangzi questioned Yunikai's actions, asking for the meaning behind his interference. Emperor requested Yunikai to bring the two immortal Taoists, Chun Yangzi and Mu Jin, and return first. He wanted to have a conversation with his imperial uncle. Yunikai, despite his injuries, agreed and returned with Chun Yangzi and Mu Jin. Ji Wan explained to Emperor that not eliminating the perceived threat of the witch, referring to Mu Jin, would lead to a disaster. He asked the Emperor if he believed in his warning. The Emperor expressed his trust in Ji Wan but questioned what would happen if he decided to spare the alleged witch. While the Emperor contemplated Mu Jin's revelations, Ji Wan urged him to reconsider, emphasizing the potential chaos if the individual in question was spared. Ji Wan questioned the Emperor about the Heavenly Marshal, a dynasty that once unified the mainland but mysteriously vanished. The Emperor, acknowledging its historical significance, revealed that he married concubine Mu due to her ancestral Spring clan ties, survivors of the Heavenly Marshal. Considering the possibility of the Heavenly Marshal relic hidden in the Hidden Immortal Summit, the Emperor was interrupted by Ji Wan. The Emperor was asked if the witch had provided this information, with Ji Wan referring to her as the Mars Calamity. Skeptical, Ji Wan questioned the credibility of Ji Yuan's words. The Emperor, looking serious, assured Ji Wan of his belief in his words but raised the question of blindly following his commands. As Emperor proceeded, Ji Wan, feeling nervous, expressed his hesitation. The Emperor assured him that he needed Ji Wan's assistance, and would entrust him with leading the troops during the trip to the Hidden Immortal Summit. Chen Yangzi, inquiring about the departure of Yunikai, raised concerns about potential changes in the Emperor's decisions. Mu Jin assured them that Jaising wouldn't change his mind. Explaining the hidden information about the Heavenly Marshal relic, Mu Jin noted the Emperor's seemingly casual acceptance. Qingzi questioned Mu Jin about the Emperor's reaction, considering the hidden information. On the other side, Ji Ruan asked the emperor about leading the group, and the emperor stated that it was based on trust. Ji Ruan was surprised to learn of another deal between the emperor and the two individuals, aimed at removing the vassal state. Ji Ruan expressed concerns about potential betrayal and the risk of being exposed as enemies of the state. The emperor reassured him, stating that only Ji Ruan and his troops would return from the Hidden Immortal Summit. The emperor's revelation of another deal with the promise of help and subsequent plans to eliminate them surprised Ji Ruan. Questions were raised about the fate of the millions of people present. Meanwhile, outside the imperial palace, soldiers chased Jiao Jinyu, Mula Wuzhou, and Hung Yi, along with Xiao Jinyu. Hanji questioned the need to run, and Zhao Jinyu instructed him to keep running. Facing imminent danger from soldiers and imperial guards, Zhao Jinyu and his companions were surprised when Emperor Jaixing intervened. Soldiers apprehended Xiao Jinyu, and Emperor Jaixing, addressing him, expressed disapproval for what he deemed excessive punishment. Is it necessary to create such a commotion? The emperor, looking displeased, ordered the imprisonment of Zhao Jinyu in the imperial clan court. Soldiers approached Xiao Jinyu, but a sudden shout halted them. Duke Zhao intervened, urging the emperor to pause and expressing concern over the severity of the situation. Duke emphasized the likelihood of a misunderstanding. Despite Duke Zhao's plea, soldiers began dragging Zhao Jinyu away. Zhao Jinyu, feeling frustrated for not informing his father about a contingency plan, believed that the emperor had attempted to frame him before and hoped it would be okay. However, Xiao Jinyu sensed something unusual this time, perplexed by the circumstances. Back at the Zhao residence, Duke Zhao returned home earlier than expected, prompting the housekeeper's inquiry. Duke, appearing different than usual, opened a door, revealing a hidden switch behind a painting. Activating the switch, a concealed passageway appeared, and Duke descended, shouting to an unseen presence if they were dead and questioning if Chao Wugi had made a decision. Simultaneously, at the palace, the emperor received a surprising report. Inquiring about Duke Xiao's son, the soldier revealed that there was no sighting at Imperial Consort Huang's room. Emperor summoned Hanji, questioning the authenticity of his claim of being with Xiao Jian for 2 hours. Perplexed by Consort Huang's actions, the emperor pondered the possibility of a mistake or manipulation. Minister Huang suggested that Xiao Jinyu might have exploited the crisis with a plan, possibly orchestrated by an expert within the Jiao clan. The emperor, known for his deductive skills, sought advice on dealing with Xiao Jinyu. Minister Huang recommended caution, suggesting imprisonment and the setting of traps, capitalizing on the Jiao clan's lack of awareness. Meanwhile, Muasha observed the imperial clan court, intending to enter. Feeling a presence behind her, she turned to find Eunuch Hai. He cautioned against rash actions due to numerous palace experts and 3 awaiting armies. Eunuch Hai assured Muaxu that everything was arranged, warning her against attempting to free Zhao Jinyu, as it would lead to charges. Muazu sought clarification, and Eunuch Hai explained that capturing Xiao Jinyu was not an intent to kill. However, evidence was lacking. Overhearing the conversation, decided against attacking and requested a meeting with Zhao Jinyu. Eunuch Hai clarified Emperor's orders to strictly watch Xiao Jin in the prison. As guards were summoned, Moonwalk Su stealthily entered the prison, surprising the guard by swiftly returning. Mulaku inquired about his rest, and Zhao Jinyu questioned the reason for her presence. Expressing concern for her well-being, he asked if she had been coerced into something. Mwazu assured him that she hadn't. When Zhao Jinyu questioned why she was allowed to enter, Mulaku fabricated a story, claiming that the emperor had postponed their wedding and permitted her visit to discuss it. Zhao Jinyu apologized, anticipating a delay in their plans. Moonwalk Su, amused by his apology, questioned the need for it. She asserted that if the roles were reversed and she were imprisoned, Zhao Jinyu wouldn't mind. Reflecting on their past lives, where Mulaxu was once imprisoned and Xiao Jinyu came to her aid, Moonwalk-su observed that they looked the same. Playfully, she asked Zhao Jinyu about his appearance this time, and he smiled, confirming her observation. Within the Zhao clan, hidden experts conversed with Duke about aging. Duke revealed that Zhao Wuji had not accompanied him and shared the tragic news of Shuji's death. Recalling a past battle against the Millennium Demon Kingdom, Duke recounted a pivotal moment when Ji Sinai ordered a retreat, leading to a conflict with Zhao Wuji. The emperor convinced the third Jugo to kill Zhao Wuji, resulting in a confrontation. Duke Zhao explained that on his return, he encountered Qing Pinzi, who informed him of the emperor's intent to kill Wuji. Arriving at the battlefield, Duke witnessed a heavily injured Wuji engaged in a fierce battle. However, an unexpected attack by the third Jugo with a chain spear left both Duke and Qing Pinzi injured. The third Jugo justified his actions, stating that Duke's son was engaging in a sacred battle with his children. Duke pleaded for Wuji's safety, asserting his innocence. Losing consciousness, Duke urged the third Jugo to return. When he awoke, Wuji had succumbed to his injuries, and Duke could only bring back the injured Qing Pinzi. Back in the present, the hidden expert questioned Duke's actions, expressing anger over the losses, including Duke's wife and junior sister. Accusing Duke of failing in his responsibilities, the expert prepared to deliver judgment. Duke pleaded for patience, explaining his commitment to protecting his youngest son, Zhao Jinyu, from Xinghai's threat. The expert proposed joining Duke in defying the imperial palace's prohibitions and facing potential threats from the vassal state and the Millennium Demon Kingdom. Duke, contemplating the potential loss of another child, considered the idea of challenging the emperor and overturning the world. When the expert took a step, he halted, believing it to be Zhao Wuji's step initially. However, it turned out to be Duke's youngest son. The expert addressed Duke and questioned why he hadn't conducted a thorough investigation before taking action. Advising Duke to be more cautious, he informed him that Zhao Jinyu had already returned. Duke, surprised by this revelation, insisted that Zhao Jinyu should be in prison. The expert proposed bringing Zhao Jinyu into their plans, considering his strength compared to Wuji. Duke requested a moment to verify the situation and asked the expert not to inform Zhao Jinyu about Wuji's matter. He emphasized not burdening Zhao Jinyu with unnecessary information. The expert warned Duke to stay away during this period, reassuring his wife. Meanwhile, at Duke's residence, Xiao Jinyu arrived unexpectedly. Duke opened the door and questioned how he had returned, only to inadvertently crush Zhao Jinyu against the door. Duke, not seeing Zhao Jinyu, inquired about his return. Zhao Jinyu revealed himself from behind the door, explaining that he found a master of disguise who stayed in prison in his stead, referring to Blue Sparrow. Duke inquired if Xiao Jinyu intended to make Blue Sparrow his scapegoat, but Xiao Jinyu denied it. He explained that due to a lack of evidence, the imperial court couldn't convict Zhao Jinyu. Aware of the potential trap, Xiao Jinyu assured Duke that his disguise was more genuine than the original Zhao Jinyu. With the Hidden Immortal Summit approaching, he discussed the need for someone to lead the Zhao clan's army and momentarily set aside their current predicament. The next day, Duke Jiao arrived at the imperial palace, beating the drum of complaints to gather attention. Minister Huang approached, questioning Duke's actions. Duke expressed his grievances, claiming injustice from the emperor and criticizing his ungrateful son. Minister Huang, surprised, asked if Duke considered the emperor unjust. Duke affirmed, shouting about his distress and pledging to punish his own family for justice. Amidst the crowd's cheers, Duke requested evidence from Minister Huang. Jiao Richland overheard their conversation, contemplating her brother's situation in prison. She considered sneaking in to meet him but was interrupted by Xiao Ruang, a princess seeking help. Jiao Richland strategized on using others to achieve her goal. Hanji, a prince, and Hanye, blushing, became involved in her plans. The opening day of the Hidden Immortal Summit approached, with the Jiao clan soldiers marching proudly under their commander-in-chief. It was Zhao Jinyu who wore his war mask, announcing his temporary assignment as the army's commander-in-chief. As Xiao Jinyu prepared to give commands, Zhao clan soldiers interrupted, expressing disbelief and disrespect. One soldier questioned Zhao Jinyu's authority, emphasizing that he wasn't even showing his face, undermining the trust of those on the battlefield. Zhao Jinyu revealed the commander token in his pocket, but a soldier grabbed him by the collar, questioning his capability to lead. A barbarian soldier accompanying Xiao Jinyu intervened, asserting that Zhao Jinyu was a great person and warning the Jiao clan soldier not to be rude to their commander. Despite the tension, Zhao Jinyu anticipated such challenges, recalling the need to establish authority when commanding both Jiao clansmen and barbarians. Another Jiao clan soldier ordered the formation of attack, and Tuoba Wang restrained his urge to kill anyone, demonstrating his strength. Lanz, an early-stage Dan realm barbarian, played with a soldier to showcase their abilities. Lanzi easily handled an attack with us, and Jiao Jinyu signaled Tuoba Wang and Lanz to stop playing and join him. The soldiers, realizing their mistake, were reprimanded by Jiao Jinyu. Tuoba Wang and Lanz knelt before Jiao Jinyu, acknowledging his command. Jiao Jinyu warned the soldiers to talk properly and declared consequences for disobedience. Meanwhile, Muo Shui observed the situation from a carriage, instructed by Minister Huang to remain inconspicuous. She pondered her husband's well-being and the importance of obtaining the Dragon Gate's ingredients, and a treasure related to the ancestral Spring clan. Confident in her ability to rescue her husband, she looked forward to the Hidden Immortal Summit. On the Emperor's side, Ji Ruan Baichuan, Chun Yangzi, and Mu Jin discussed the commotion in the Jiao clan's army. Ji Ruan Baichuan suggested helping Jiru Yuan if he was unwilling to follow through with Jizing's plans. Jiu Yuan emphasized dealing with the imminent calamity and taking things one step at a time. As the Hidden Immortal Summit was about to begin, an announcement detailed the dangers of the journey and the use of tokens for emergencies. The Emperor wished everyone luck and prosperity, and each participant pondered their own objectives, aware of the risks involved. Jiao Jinyu cautioned the group about the thick mist in the immortal realm, emphasizing the need for caution due to his unfamiliarity with the area. He reiterated the agreement to split spoils with the Witch clan and instructed Tuo Bawang to organize the formation using flags as markers. As they approached the first destination visible in the distance, Chun Yangzi confirmed Mu Jin's information about the martial relic. Ru Yuan, with Bai Chuan's assistance, directed the group to head towards the southern heavenly gate. Meanwhile, others exploring the area discovered various treasures and relics. Jiao Jinyu observed that some carriages were positioned to face outward, suggesting a possible attempt to flee. He warned of potential danger in the vicinity and expressed concern, recalling the uneasy feeling from his past life despite the presence of numerous experts. In a different area, a soldier encountered a treasure but was attacked by a statue. Jiao Jinyu inquired if anyone sensed killing intentions, cautioning them about mechanical soldiers that don't emit such signals. When an arrow aimed at Lan Ziyi was intercepted by Jiao Jinyu, the situation escalated. He instructed Tuo Bawang and Lan Ziyi to handle the mechanical soldiers swiftly. Ru Yuan and Bai Chuan discussed the prevalence of stone soldiers hidden in the mist. Bai Chuan suggested moving to avoid casualties, and Ru Yuan agreed. However, as they approached a building's aura, Ru Yuan found himself suddenly grabbed by a massive hand, signaling a potential threat. Ru Yuan, after being attacked and squeezed, heard a voice indicating his first offense and a slight punishment. Bai Chuan, unable to see the source of the attack, was perplexed. Ru Yuan, asking if Bai Chuan saw the assailant, received healing from him. Despite being unable to feel the attack and protect Ru Yuan adequately, Bai Chuan expressed concern. Ru Yuan reassured Bai Chuan, stating he couldn't die easily. Attempting to report the situation to the imperial court, Ru Yuan discovered that the tokens in his pocket were crushed into pieces. Sai Mahong then contacted them, advising against staying in the area for too long and urging a decision to advance or retreat. Ru Yuan explained the impossibility of retreat, realizing the layout coincided with the ancient Chinese divination art of Chimenduanjia. He identified the building as the location of the life door due to its aura and expressed the desire to transmit an order. Meanwhile, Jiao Jinyu faced continuous attacks from mechanical soldiers. Ru Yuan ordered the armies to head northeast, relying on the Fifth Prince's divine eyes. Jiao Jinyu instructed Tuo Bawang and Lan Zi to open a path in the Nantian Gate. As the armies rushed forward, they were ambushed by mechanical soldiers from behind, resulting in heavy casualties. Observing the chaotic situation, Mulo Shui considered aiding the Jiao clan's army but hesitated due to being alone. She wished for experts in using poisonous insects to handle the weaker vassal state army. To her surprise, someone unleashed poisonous insects, and Jiao Jinyu's prior actions, selling pills at the border, seemed to be strategic for this moment. Mulo Shui speculated that the masked person orchestrating the poisonous insects was of high position within the Witch clan. Jiao Jinyu unleashed his poisonous insects, causing chaos among the soldiers. Ru Yuan inquired about the situation, and Sai Mahong reported that the troops at the back were out of control, running to the front without regard for their lives. Explaining the effects of the crazy-inducing poisonous insects, Jiao Jinyu noted that besides temporarily boosting cultivation, they made the soldiers feel no pain or fear. The troops, induced by the insects, attacked the mechanical soldiers with fervor, tearing them apart and pushing them back. The mist thickened, and Tuo Bawang asked if they should continue advancing. Jiao Jinyu advised caution, warning that it would be challenging to advance or retreat if they encountered enemies on the bridge. A frustrated soldier with uncontrolled bleeding sought help, and a giant snake appeared before them. Lan Ziyi, recognizing his limitations in dealing with such formidable foes, called on Tuo Bawang to handle the situation. Jiao Jinyu cautioned them to be careful. However, a flying enemy attacked Tuo Bawang from behind, slashing his chest. Jiao Jinyu considered the two enemies troublesome but hesitated to intervene directly, as it would reveal the presence of a Jiao clan expert within the troops. Ru Yuan observed legendary spirit beasts that the heavenly martial emperor had once tamed, now turned into monsters. He requested Bai Chuan to deal with the monsters, but Bai Chuan refused, citing the need for protection. Mu Jin suggested that Chuan Yazi wanted to handle the monsters, leading to a conversation between Chuan Yazi and Ru Yuan. Mu Jin emphasized the necessity of working together to survive the battle and hoped that Prince Ru Yuan would allow it. Reflecting on the dangers of the current Immortal Summit, compared to her past life, Mu Jin recognized the increased peril. In Mu Jin's previous life, the hidden Immortal Summit didn't have such dense fog, and the guardians of that place weren't formidable beasts. She urgently instructed Chun Yangzi to move swiftly and deal with the monsters promptly. Meanwhile, Lan Ziyi attempted to combat a flying monster, but it proved too powerful. The creature slashed at his chest, and a massive snake threatened the army, sweeping them away with its colossal body. Tuo Bawang attempted to restrain the giant snake, only to be unexpectedly attacked by a stone soldier. Jiao Jinyu observed a soldier that had been previously consumed by the snake, now transformed into a sinister entity. He also noticed Lan Ziyi attempting to stab the flying monster from behind. However, someone from a distance spat at Lan Ziyi, causing him to fall from the creature. Jiao Jinyu intervened, saving Lan Ziyi. Instructing Lan Ziyi and Tuo Bawang to stay on the sidelines, Jiao Jinyu focused on the snake, preparing to confront it. Chun Yangzi readied a massive lightning attack, aiming to strike the two monsters. However, before he could unleash it, Jiao Jinyu declared that the monsters wouldn't escape after harming his people. With incredible speed, he flicked two stones, hitting both monsters' heads simultaneously and instantly killing them. Chun Yangzi, perplexed by the swift demise of the monsters, was sarcastically praised by Jiao Jinyu for his apparent prowess, acknowledging the truth in the rumors about Chun Yangzi's abilities. As the fight continued, Jiao Jinyu instructed Tuo Bawang and Lan Ziyi to remain in their positions and not intervene, leaving the battle to his senior brother Chun Yangzi. The army pressed forward and reached a building where they encountered a giant goat with numerous red eyes. Chun Yangzi was shocked by the colossal monster, and Jiao Jinyu approached it, commanding it to kneel down and obey his orders. In the presence of a formidable beast, Chun Yangzi identifies it as a monster, but Ru Yuan, fifth prince, intervenes, clarifying that it's not evil, instead, it's Fei Fei, a legendary spiritual beast known for its kindness. Despite this assurance, Jiao Jinyu is capable of approaching Fei Fei, and Ru Yuan, fifth prince, notes the extraordinariness of his aura. Restrictions in the area prevent Ru Yuan, fifth prince, from using his skills to examine Jiao Jinyu's aura. Fei Fei intervenes, causing the stone army to halt. Ru Yuan, fifth prince, assures them of safety for the time being. Upon opening a door, soldiers discover ancient text. Ru Yuan, fifth prince, having some knowledge from Dwelling Star Mountain, needs time to decipher it. He instructs Sai Mango to relay the order for everyone to stay. Mulo Shui walks away, reassured by a servant who knows what to do. As Jiao Jinyu looks at the ancient text, he senses a fierce energy spreading. Behind him, Mulo Shui walks away, prompting Sai Mango to order the soldiers to stay put. Mulo Shui touches something, emitting energy, and Sai Mango commands to catch him. Jiao Jinyu, Chun Yangzi, and Bai Chuan attempt to catch Mulo Shui, but he claims it's too late, and they all disappear. Mulo Shui continues activating the pill furnace, teleporting Jiao Jinyu, Chun Yangzi, and Bai Chuan inside. Zhao Jinyu sees a sword from a distance with a similar aura to the pill furnace. Bai Chuan tries to use his skill but fails. Chun Yangzi, noticing the sword, suggests combining powers. He recognizes it as no ordinary sword, with domineering energy seeping through one soul. Chun Yangzi attempts to claim the treasure sword but is repelled. Zhao Jinyu observes from a distance, thinking that Chun Yangzi doesn't even know how to use a sword. Feifei Fei teleports inside the furnace, guarding the sword. Mulo Shui's arrival at the ancestral grounds of the ancestral Spring clan was met with an immediate sense of unease. The sparse number of halls struck her as peculiar, prompting her to wonder if the grounds had been altered in anticipation of her arrival. Doubt lingered, and she hoped that her suspicions were merely products of overthinking. Beyond the necessities for creating the Dragon Gate, Mulo Shui sought a crucial item documented in the ancient text: the ancestors' remains. The ancestral Spring clan, proud of their pure bloodline, traced their lineage to an Earth Immortal who once emerged from the clan. The purer the bloodline of the Earth Immortal's descendants, the more gifted they were in cultivation. However, the ancient text revealed that this ancestor never left the dynasty of Heavenly Marshal, implying that the remains might rest within its ruins. As Mulo Shui contemplated this, she discovered that the remains of descendant Mu Luoxue were still present. To revive the clan, borrowing the ancestors' remains became imperative. Meanwhile, in another realm, Zhao Jinyu, Chun Yangzi, and Bai Chuan found themselves trapped in the pill furnace. Chun Yangzi's attempts to acquire the sword were thwarted by Feifei's attacks. Bai Chuan dismissed their efforts as futile, recognizing Feifei's strength when it effortlessly tossed Chun Yangzi aside. Seeking retaliation, Chun Yangzi and Bai Chuan engaged Feifei in battle. While the skirmish unfolded, Zhao Jinyu seized the opportunity to claim the sword. The sword, acknowledging him as its new master, granted him extraordinary power. Using the sword, Zhao Jinyu manipulated space, tricking Chun Yangzi in the process. Bai Chuan and Chun Yangzi, now at odds with each other, attempted to escape. Zhao Jinyu, however, presented a challenge, urging them to find another way out. Employing advanced techniques, including the 36th Thunder and 72nd Yin Gate, Zhao Jinyu surprised Chun Yangzi. The use of Tai Sect's Thunder Art baffled Chun Yangzi, as it was believed to be impossible and never passed down to outsiders. Unperturbed, Zhao Jinyu asserted that whether a trick or not, he would employ it against them, shooting at them before departing the confined space. Outside the space, Zhao Jinyu found himself in a foggy immortal summit, questioning the unusual atmosphere. To his surprise, a person appeared on the scene. In a tense encounter, Zhao Jinyu and Mulo Shui lock eyes, each unaware of the other's identity. In a different dimension, a mysterious figure plays a role, adding an enigmatic element to the unfolding scene. Within the smoke and fog, Zhao Jinyu discerns another monster concealed, while Mulo Shui also notices a monster before her, expressing outrage at its intrusion into her clan's sacred ground. Without recognizing each other, Mulo Shui launches an attack on the supposed monster, who, unbeknownst to her, is Zhao Jinyu. Evading her strikes, Zhao Jinyu witnesses Mulo Shui deploying an immortal puppet crafted from her ancestors' remains. Shocked by the appearance of yet another monster, Zhao Jinyu dodges its summons attack. Despite using his Thunder Art skill, the monster exhibits resilience, leading Zhao Jinyu to speculate on its strength. Reminiscent of an Earth Immortal, Mulo Shui, perplexed by the monster's ability to evade her attacks, utilizes her bow. However, the monster skillfully parries the arrow. Attempting to retaliate, Zhao Jinyu feels a strange familiarity, as if he's confronting the tyrant empress. A flashback reveals a poignant moment between Mulo Shui and Zhao Jinyu, with the latter leaving snacks for her, expressing concern about his uncertain return. As the battle unfolds, Mulo Shui summons an immortal puppet and detects the scent of poison in the air. Realizing her disadvantage, she escapes the confrontation, leaving Zhao Jinyu to contemplate the possibility that he fought someone from his past life, a person from the ancestral Spring clan who had turned into a monster. Meanwhile, at the palace where Ru Yuan, 5th Prince and others are situated, the departure of the guardian beast triggers seismic vibrations within the tower. Mechanical soldiers surround them as Manga reports to Ru Yuan, 5th Prince. The absence of the two Earth Immortals prompts concern, and Ru Yuan, 5th Prince decides to locate the next life gate, intending to use his divine eyes. However, memories of being grabbed by an unknown entity earlier make him reconsider. He formulates an alternative plan, directing the troops to advance in a specific direction. Mango takes command, but Ryuin 5th Prince is unexpectedly flicked on the head by an unknown figure once again. In the aftermath of the unexpected attack, Ryuin 5th Prince's head bleeds, leaving Bai Chuan shocked in another dimension while Chun Yangzi engages in a fierce battle with Feifei. Feifei impales Bai Chuan, prompting Chun Yangzi to intervene and rescue him. Reminding Bai Chuan that it's not Dwelling Star Mountain, Chun Yangzi urges him not to hold back and finish the fight quickly. Bai Chuan, annoyed at the advice, removes the impaling tail, heals himself, and freezes Feifei's attack. Chun Yangzi witnesses Bai Chuan's transformation and seeks an explanation for the masked person. They combine their attacks against Feifei. In another scene, soldiers attempt to communicate with Ryuin 5th Prince, who regains consciousness. A voice warns him against using his skills again or face death. Mujin contemplates her desire to eliminate Ryuin 5th Prince but decides to focus on their escape. Uncertain about Chun Yangzi's whereabouts, she heads outside, ignoring Ryuin 5th Prince's attempt to stop her. A mechanical abomination enters, and Mango urges Ryuin 5th Prince to flee. The soldiers, scared, receive orders to follow Ryuin 5th Prince's commands. Meanwhile, Jiao Jinyu finds an empty treasure box and unwittingly steps on a trap, plummeting into a room below. He encounters a seated figure, whom he assumes is a corpse. Using his lightning skill, Jiao Jinyu attacks the man, who stands unaffected. Attempting to use his sword, Jiao Jinyu is surprised when the man reveals himself as his elder brother. The man offers food, leaving Jiao Jinyu perplexed. In another setting, inside the Jiao residence, Duke Jiao reflects on the spear of Wuji and expresses regret for the past events that lead to Wuji's death. In the ruins of the dynasty of Heavenly Marshal, Jiao Jinyu contemplates the enigmatic person in front of him. Wondering about the man's age and origin, he speculates that this individual might be an ancient being from the era of the Heavenly Marshal dynasty, possibly thousands of years old, a legendary immortal. Curious, Jiao Jinyu questions the man's identity, but the response remains consistent: he is Jiao Jinyu's elder brother. Puzzled by the limited communication, Jiao Jinyu decides to leave the place, concerned about the fate of the Jiao army facing the mechanical soldiers. Attempting to break through the barrier, he asks the man if he knows the way out. Faced with a hindrance, Jiao Jinyu leaves an insignia on the man's body, promising to return and bring him out if he finds a way to break the restraint. The man agrees, harboring his own thoughts about the potential benefits of helping Jiao Jinyu. Unbeknownst to the ancient person, the insignia serves a dual purpose. It not only marks the location but also acts as a remote bomb, a precautionary measure by Jiao Jinyu. Meanwhile, soldiers continue their battle against the abomination mechanical soldier. Tuo Bawang and Lan Zi express concern for Jiao Jinyu, who hasn't returned yet. Lan Zi urges them to trust in Jiao Jinyu's abilities, and they persist in the fight. Despite sacrifices, they reach the location of the next life gate. A flying dragon corpse emerges, and Ryuin 5th Prince warns them to dodge its attack. In the other dimension, Chun Yangzi and Bai Chuan successfully defeat Feifei. A portal opens, allowing them to exit. Bai Chuan, grateful that he left an insignia in Ryuin 5th Prince's body, collapses from exhaustion. Chun Yangzi contemplates killing Bai Chuan but opts for a barrier instead. Back in the dragon battle, as the prince faces imminent danger, Jiao Jinyu intervenes just in time, appearing before them and stopping the dragon's attack. He reassures them that he will handle the dragon. With remarkable strength, Jiao Jinyu effortlessly dispatches the dragon, impressing Ryuin 5th Prince and the others. He advises them to gather the dragon's bones, believed to be filled with treasures according to an ancient book. Ryuin 5th Prince recognizes Jiao Jinyu as an expert from the Jiao clan and attempts to discuss a matter of imperial importance. Changing the topic, Jiao Jinyu asks if they know their current location. Ryuin 5th Prince identifies it as the core prohibition of the hidden immortal summits. He explains that if they use it wisely, they can teleport back. Ryuin 5th Prince then shares his request, finding a secret art that the imperial court seeks, possibly in the possession of a thief from Tai Sect. Manga reminds Ryuin 5th Prince of the emperor's orders, but he assures him that he is aware. Suspecting the art to be the mainland unification from the dynasty of the Heavenly Marshal, Jiao Jinyu agrees to help. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, asks him to retrieve the secret art from the thief, and Chun Yangzi appears, declaring that they must pass through him first. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, inquires about Bai Chuan's whereabouts, and Chun Yangzi informs him that Bai Chuan won't return for now. As the tension escalates, Chun Yangzi requests to witness Jiao Jinyu's thunder art once more. However, their confrontation takes an unexpected turn when Jiao Jinyu stops a surprise attack from Chun Yangzi. A fierce battle ensues as they unleash their thunder arts. Outside the conflict, Sai Mango assists Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, away from the intense confrontation. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, instructs the troops to enter the palace. Meanwhile, Bai Chuan regains consciousness and remembers his duty to protect Ru Yuan, 5th Prince. However, still injured, he encounters Mulo Shui, who proposes a trade appeal for immediate recovery in exchange for a dwelling star token. Bai Chuan accepts, and Mulo Shui departs, hoping Jiao Jinyu can restore her husband's previous life's potential. Bai Chuan and the others arrive at the palace, and Bai Chuan attempts to open the door, continuing their journey. Amidst the intricate and mysterious surroundings of the hidden Immortal Summit Central Prohibition, Sai Mango queries Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, about what lies ahead. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, explains that the place is filled with ingenious mechanisms, and that they need to obtain the authority of this location to leave. He contemplates the possibility of the ancient ingenuity left behind, and wonders if it has been reconfigured by someone behind the scenes. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, recalls being prohibited from using his divine eyes to pry into the situation, surmising that it could jeopardize the arrangements made by the enigmatic figure. He notes the instructions on a notebook given to him by his master, who predicted his death on this journey but emphasized the value of his sacrifice. Determined, Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, decides to use a spell that will cost him 7 years of his lifespan. Setting up a protective barrier, he employs the 7 stars life-extending lamp skill, granting him protection for 70 breaths. He acknowledges that failure to solve the puzzle within this time frame will result in his death. Meanwhile, Bai Chuan, having consumed the pill given by Mulo Shui, senses Ru Yuan, 5th Prince's use of the 7 stars life-extending lamp. Concerned for Ru Yuan, 5th Prince's safety, Bai Chuan battles mechanical soldiers to reach him quickly. In the Central Prohibition, Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, counts his moves, successfully completing the task. However, another puzzle appears, and he fears running out of time. To confront the challenge, he decides to use another secret spell, the Heaven-Perceiving Hollow Earth skill, which consumes 15 years of his lifespan. As he invokes this powerful technique, he recognizes 2 others who have used similar spells, Chun Yangzi, Sign of Kuei, and an expert from the Jiao clan. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, is convinced that Jiao Jinyu is Jiao Wuji, alive and not yet dead. Sai Mango overhears this revelation, realizing that the masked person might indeed be Jiao Wuji, their mysterious ally. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, remains steadfast in his belief, recognizing the unique aura shared between Jiao Jinyu and the masked person, the rare and unmistakable aura of the Purple Star. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, reflects on the meaning behind the word spoken by the eldest prince years ago. In a flashback, Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, and the eldest prince engage in a game where the eldest prince encourages Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, to use his divine eyes to look at his aura, hinting that good news might await him. The eldest prince prompts Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, to tell the truth about what he sees, emphasizing the importance of a clear conscience. Back in the present, Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, believes that Jiao Wuji, Jiao Jinyu, is still alive, but one of his candles is about to go out, signifying the dwindling time he has left. To hasten the process, Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, forcefully squeezes out his lifespan. Inside his eyes, the world begins to slow down, and an entity snaps its fingers. Ru Yuan, 5th Prince, instructs Sai Mango not to let anyone destroy the formation. From above, numerous mechanical soldiers descend, and Sai Mango faces the dilemma of whether to defeat them or use the extra token given by Ru Yuan, 5th Prince. Sai Mango engages in battle with a mechanical soldier, but one of Ru Yuan, 5th Prince's candles starts to extinguish again. Meanwhile, Mu Jin reaches her destination in the underground palace, hoping to find the legendary secret art. However, upon opening the treasure box, she discovers it has been switched, leading to frustration. In another scene, Ru Yuan 5th Prince's hair turns white, and exhaustion sets in as he continues using secret techniques. Sai Mango manages to defeat all the mechanical soldiers, but is also fatigued. Ru Yuan 5th Prince begins the final puzzle, and with the last candle still lit, a beam of light shoots up into the sky, signaling success. A message resonates in everyone's hearts, announcing the imminent teleportation of intruders. Jiao Jinyu and Bai Chuan both sense Ru Yuan 5th Prince's success, with the latter hoping to leave the place before the last lamp extinguishes. Ru Yuan 5th Prince employs the art of unification, the divine sense comprehension, acknowledging the ominous nature of this secret art. Sai Mango realizes that the secret art the Emperor sought is the art of blood sacrifice. Ru Yuan 5th Prince, understanding the ominous nature of this art, reflects on whether it was originally used by the Heavenly Martial dynasty for uniting the mainland, or if it got switched by the person behind the scenes. Regardless, Ru Yuan 5th Prince is determined to prevent it from falling into Jixinghe's hands due to his ambitious nature. Sai Mango questions Ru Yuan 5th Prince, who reveals the need to destroy the secret art to prevent its malevolent influence. As Ru Yuan 5th Prince speaks of the urgency to act, he is suddenly attacked, and his last candle is revealed, indicating the dwindling time left. In a flashback to his early days, Ru Yuan 5th Prince discusses divination with his master, expressing a desire to do things correctly and make the people prosper. However, he realizes that even with morality and conduct, life lacks meaning, leading to a sense of absurdity. In the present, Ru Yuan 5th Prince acknowledges the gap between his capabilities and ideals and decides to implement his resolve. Ru Yuan 5th Prince stabs his hand to complete a ritual, prompting Sai Mango's concern. Ru Yuan 5th Prince defies the Emperor's orders, attempting to destroy the secret art. However, Sai Mango, loyal to the Emperor, stabs Ru Yuan 5th Prince in the back, apologizing and citing the prince's betrayal. Sai Mango announces Ru Yuan 5th Prince's death, attributing it to Jiao Jinyu as the masked Earth Immortal, further complicating the situation. Jiao Jinyu and Bai Chuan are shocked by the announcement of Ru Yuan 5th Prince's demise. Ru Yuan 5th Prince's master receives news of his death but shows an indifferent attitude, deciding not to seek revenge. Instead, he contemplates wearing his old costume and taking a walk. Observing a tree, he notes that someone seems more emotional than him about Ru Yuan 5th Prince's demise, and questions if Bai Chuan has given up on being a mountain god. In another scene, Bai Chuan, mourning Ru Yuan 5th Prince's absence, questions the purpose of being himself. Fueled by anger and the desire for revenge against the Jiao clan and Jiao Wuji, he undergoes demonification. Meanwhile, Sai Mango examines Ru Yuan 5th Prince's lifeless body. Jiao Jinyu arrives, confronting Sai Mango about the message sent and accusing him of enjoying the situation. Sai Mango asserts that Ru Yuan 5th Prince died because of Jiao Jinyu and labels both the Jiao clan and himself as eyesores. He urges Jiao Jinyu to accept the imperial command to suppress him. In response, Jiao Jinyu swiftly punches Sai Mango, expressing his surprise at the Emperor's actions, even against his own brother. Realizing that half of Ru Yuan 5th Prince's soul has already scattered, Jiao Jinyu resolves not to let him go like this, anticipating trouble from the blame placed on the Jiao clan. Meanwhile, Tuo Bawang and Lan Zi contemplate why Jiao Jinyu spared Chun Yangzi and the recent imperial announcement. Jiao Jinyu returns with Sai Mango, assuring them that everything is so-so. They question whether they will be teleported and express suspicion about potential tricks. Jiao Jinyu reassures them and stands confidently as the Emperor arrives, masked, accusing the Jiao clan of plotting rebellion and ordering their capture. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more updates.